Trump lashed out at Zelensky on Wednesday, accusing him of prolonging what he called the killing field by refusing to surrender the Russia-occupied Crimea Peninsula as part of a possible peace deal. Zelensky has repeated many times during the more than 3-year war that recognizing occupied territory as Russian is a red line for his country. I'm Karen Chavas.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt suggesting the Democrats fighting the deportation of criminal illegal aliens are ignoring the will of the vast majority of Americans.
89% of Americans in a recent CBS poll said that they support the deportation of all illegal immigrants who have committed crimes in our country. 89%. I mean, you can't get much more public support for a policy than deportations of legal criminals.
Leavitt speaking with the Salem Radio Network. The fast-moving wildfire that's been engulfing parts of southern New Jersey's Pine Barrens is expected to grow, with smoke affecting the air quality in the New York City area and beyond before rain arrives this week. That blaze covers about 20 square miles. It's roughly 50% contained. More volatility on Wall Street. Stock futures have been up and down this morning following yesterday's rally that lifted the Dow, Nasdaq, and the S&P higher. Right now, the Dow futures are down 105 points. Nasdaq futures 50 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Heard me talk about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too with their 3-week quick start kit for only $19.95, less than $1 a day. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or eliminate pain. Visit relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF, 800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor.
Healthcare is complicated. It doesn't have to be. If you don't love how your health insurance works, maybe it's time to leave traditional health insurance behind. Take charge of your healthcare with Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM offers you flexibility. Enroll anytime, choose your own provider, and select the program that fits your needs and budget. CHM is the original faith-based way of taking care of your medical bill costs. Learn more at chministries.org/wellness.
Mourners by the tens of thousands have been paying their final respects to Pope Francis at the Vatican.
Thousands of people have been lining up in St. Peter's Square since early Wednesday morning. Some have been waiting hours to enter the basilica where Francis's open casket has been set in front of the main altar. U.S. faithful Lana Klein described the atmosphere inside St. Peter's.
Walking in there, it was so silent, but you could feel how much people really cared about him.
The public mourning period will end on Friday at 7 p.m. local time. Cardinals have been meeting at the Vatican to schedule Francis's funeral and burial, plan the conclave to elect his successor, and make other decisions about running the Catholic Church. I'm Karen Chavas.
India and Pakistan have canceled visas for their nationals to each other's countries as tensions rise between the two nuclear-armed neighbors. Follows a deadly attack by gunmen in the disputed Kashmir region. News and analysis, townhall.com. Posting a video on X, U.S. Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois announcing that 5 terms in the Senate is quite enough.
The decision of whether to run for re-election has not been easy. I truly love the job of being United States Senator, but in my heart, I know it's time to pass the torch. So I'm announcing today that I will not be seeking re-election at the end of my term.
The Senate's number 2 Democrat thanking those who have returned him to Capitol Hill time and time again.
To the Illinoisans who gave this kid from East St. Louis a chance to serve, thank you for supporting me through the words and actions over the years.
First elected to the Senate in 1996, Durbin, the 4th Democrat to announce that he will not be seeking re-election in 2026. President Trump putting some of his personal touches on the White House. Among them, he says he's adding 2 beautiful flagpoles to the grounds of the Executive Mansion to fly the stars and stripes. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. So make a guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel witch and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Thursday.
Yes. Happy your Friday.
It is my Friday.
Yes.
Sean will be in the chair tomorrow. Tomorrow's my birthday. I'm going to take the day off.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm going to go and do nothing, probably. It's like, what are you going to do? Absolutely nothing.
It's wonderful.
I'll do some things, but they won't be of substance.
Oh, of course not. Things will be done, but they will mostly be done in an effort to, like, heat pizza rolls.
Yeah. Like, you know what? Exciting plans.
Ooh.
Tonight, that new Captain America movie's on Amazon. I'm going to go watch it tonight. I'm going to stay up late, watch Captain America.
Heck yeah.
I'll start there and go from there.
Heck yeah. I might not even go to sleep.
I'll do that.
I might dust off my old PS2 and play some Vice City. Dude, I distinctly remember a morning. It was like 10 years after Vice City came out. I played that game till the wheels came off. I still have it. We'll still play it every now and again.
Yeah.
But I just remember one distinct morning. It was 3 a.m. I'm trying to park this car so I could save the game. You park your car to go upstairs and go to sleep to save the game.
Yeah.
Just so that I could go to sleep to then get up at 6 and go do morning radio. It's like, I don't plan things well, but yeah, I understand. Sometimes you just get into a zone.
But yeah, sometimes just the fact I don't have to get up to do it, the routine, and just get my own thing. It's
the best.
That's mental health for me, man.
It's one of those, when you wake up and you're like, I don't have to get up. I can just lay here.
Yeah.
I'm awake, but I can just doodle around on my phone.
Yeah, that's the gift to me tomorrow.
Practice some meditation, maybe a little,
my meditation
train breathing.
Is I go to the bathroom, sit on the toilet, and play Retro Bowl. That's my
nice.
That's my meditation.
Mine goes Retro Bowl, Toilet Bowl.
That's right. I'm not a complicated man. I really not. So, of course, yesterday, thank you to everyone that participated in yesterday's show.
Definitely a heavy morning.
Yeah, it was not our normal fare as we were covering the every 15 minutes, which took place yesterday at Hagerman there. And big thank you to everyone. Diane Taylor, who does an amazing job of organizing the every 15 minutes thing every single year.
Except for letting them know that, they could come in segments.
Well, we got it.
Besides that.
It was all wonderful.
It was great.
She does an amazing job. And, of course, Joey and his family for coming in and talking to us. And, obviously, RPD and RFD for participating with us yesterday as well. Big thank you to all of them. And if you missed any part, want to go check it out, you can go back. It's all in our if you do nothing else, I invite you to check out Joey's about 11.5-minute video kind of explaining his story.
Breaking it down.
It is on our Facebook wall by itself, so you don't have to go. So I invite you to check it out there, and that'll kind of get you the gist of what yesterday was about. So, but big thank you to everyone that participated in that, and I hope some families got a good message at the end of the day from all the stuff that went down.
And I think that, because the program itself, at least this year, was aimed at Hagerman and obviously Dexter and Lake Arthur, that area. But them coming here and, us being able to give them that platform, I think really, really broadens the messessage.
Sure. And it'll be, they rotate it every year. It'll be probably, I'm going to take a stab next year, probably back in Roswell or Goddard or something like that.
Right.
Or who knows? But anyway, again, thank you to everyone. And if you missed any of it, you can go check it out, ksvptv.com.
The one question I didn't get answered yesterday, I meant to ask it, was how often do they change out the Reaper costume? I'm curious if it's still the same Reaper from
one,
back in my day.
I don't know. That'd be a dying
Because, I mean,
question.
if you only use it during for the program, it's not going to age that badly. But then again, it has been 26 years now.
And then I'm wondering, it's like, I got to imagine someone said, I need a Halloween costume. Grim Reaper's about as good as you get.
I figure every year they're at the Spirit Halloween store going, well, I guess it's time to get us another one.
Yeah. Or maybe it's like Batman, and there's a bunch of Grim Reaper suits in a closet.
That's
and
what
they're
I
all
think
exactly the same.
Which every cartoon has done that. It's like a trope where they'll open the closet of the character, and it's every single one of the things is the same thing they're always wearing.
Yeah, maybe it's that closet going.
Yeah. It's my Tuesday Reaper.
That's right. Although, if I ever became like that baller status, I am going to have a closet with the exact same outfit 30 times in it. I don't know what the outfit will be, but it'll be something like that.
I'm just saying, Mike's baller status house is going to be weird, man.
It is.
Soft serve machine, closet full of the same clothes. I'm going to guess heart-shaped jacuzzi tub. Full of champagne.
You forgot one thing. Brick oven pizza on the patio.
Oh, yeah, I forgot the brick oven pizza oven. Right, of course.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
That'll be the whole house. It'll be a closet with 30 of the same outfits, a soft serve machine, and a brick. That's the whole house.
Mike's whole life is essentially the second verse from "If I Had $1 Million."
Although, I do like. I keep seeing those Taco Bell commercials and stuff, and maybe I could put a restaurant of my choosing in my house.
We built a tiny Taco Bell. Right. Yeah, that is a weird trend. No, you know where that started though? There was a trend online where people were building 7-Elevens inside of secret rooms in their homes.
Someone's got to stock it.
And that's the thing is they go in and they do. It's like they have a whole thing and
that's a weird.
It's
fetish.
a very odd, like a niche, pocket group of people. I would imagine.
If I'm going to do that, I'm just going to actually buy a 7-Eleven near my house,
right?
And then walk in it whenever I want and take what I want.
Honestly, you could have stopped that sentence, a couple of words short and just said, I have a secret room in my house. That's like a dream for me.
Yeah.
I want a thing where I can just pull a book and have like something slide off, and that's like my hidey hole.
Oh, yeah, there's a whole bunch of those you see.
I love them. They're great.
I've seen like threads online where everyone's got different, whether it's a bookcase or if it's, whatever. They all got or something in a desk.
Yeah.
that triggers it. Yeah.
This one guy I saw, I watched a video, he took a bad spot in a wall and he took the whole thing out and turned it into a tunnel, like with like all kinds of LEDs and stuff for his daughters to get between their two rooms.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I thought that was like kind of a huge undertaking, but kind of a cool project.
Or have you ever seen the ones where people will turn their mansion-like house into like this weird, like jungle gym where they'll put like these big rope nettings and it's literally like you're at the innards of a pirate ship walking around.
There's a guy who's like, I decreased the value of my home by 65% because I put this, like you're talking about. It was a rope jungle gym, essentially. You know what's weird? What I have been seeing a lot of in like really fancy, like not like manors, but like in mansions, is a lot more slides. Like I've like, like with the wood paneling, so they look all fancy, but it's a slide from the upstairs room to downstairs because we're all 7.
I would have gone with fireman pole, but
Yeah, well,
because that's just cool.
Right.
I mean, it's not. It's
it's exciting until you realize, it's just a giant hole in my floor.
I know, but to slide down it quick,
that'd
be fun.
Yeah, but then again, you also have to like get the grip right because you could burn the hands.
You got a lot of time to practice.
Although, if you can afford fire pole in your home, you should have sliding gloves.
I was going to say, you probably are equipped with these things.
Gerald, give me my sliding gloves.
Or just grease the pole.
Just grease the pole. Next time you have RFD and you need to ask them if they grease the pole. Or if they have sliding gloves. Of course, I know they all wear the gloves, so the burn doesn't really count.
But I would.
Do they still even use that? Because, I mean, I know there's not a lot of firehouses that are 2-story.
I think the ones that have them, they might. But, I don't know if they build them with them anymore. I don't know. Yeah,
See? There's so many questions that need to be asked of the Roswell Fire
Next time the
Department.
fire folks are in, we'll get on these questions.
I feel like the tough questions aren't the ones being asked.
These burning questions.
That's right. And so much more.
All right, let me give you the rundown for today's show. We're going to talk character counts this morning. Amy McVeigh-Tejas will join us. Also joining us will be CEOs of Eastern New Mexico Medical Center, Warren Yell, and Lovelace Hospital, Nick Sharia. And so we'll talk character counts. So next week is character counts week. They got a whole slew of things planned, so we'll talk about that with them here in just a few. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, Don Weld will be back with us wearing another hat, his Friends of the Spring River Zoo hat. Give us an update there on the Friends of the Zoo. And then Crystal Noble will pop in for her visit from the Humane Society, talking about pets available for adoption and any specials or deals going on at thrift store, anything like that. Any updates to what they got going on there? Crystal will tell us all about that here about 9:15. But before we do any of that, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather. They're still holding on with good rain chances this weekend. I'm pleasantly surprised.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Not as windy today. It will be a little bit breezy, though. Some clouds early and then sunshine in the afternoon. Will be up around the 90-degree mark. For the overnight hours, clear, 50 to 55 on the low, and then sunny on Friday. Will be in the upper 80s. We do have a system moving in Friday night and Saturday. Could get a few showers from that. Then we're back to sunshine Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 60 degrees here in Roswell. A little overcast out there. Humidity is at 93% with southwest winds at 9 miles per hour. We do have, they say, a dense fog advisory through 8 o'clock this morning. I'm not really seeing it in our part, but I'm going to guess there's parts of the county that might be dealing with a little bit of that this morning. For today, partly cloudy, gradually becoming sunny. As Steve mentioned, near 90, 88 is what they're officially saying. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear. Overnight low of 52. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Sunny, once again, highs near 90 tomorrow. 89 officially with south winds 5 to 10 early, 10 to 15 for the afternoon. And then Friday night and Saturday, we're looking at fairly decent rain chances. They're talking Friday night a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms after 9 p.m., mostly cloudy and an overnight low of 58. South winds 5 to 15. A 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms on Saturday early, even before 9 and then till about noon. Even a slight chance in the afternoon, but mostly cloudy for the day, cooler. High of only 76 on Saturday. Winds will be out of the northeast 5 to 15 miles per hour. 20% chance at showers Saturday night, mainly before midnight. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 59. And then sunny and 91 for your Sunday. So the little cooler Saturday is short-lived. We'll be back up into the 90s by Sunday. And upper 80s, mid-80s to start the work week. Looks like there could be some more rain chances maybe Wednesday of next week. We'll see. All right, 7:18, we're going to take a 3-minute break, and then we're going to talk character counts. Amy McVeigh-Tejas, also Warren Yale, Nick Sharia, CEOs for Lovelace and Eastern New Mexico Medical Center will join us as well. Don't go away.
In a medical emergency, every second counts. Artesia General Hospital's emergency department is open 24/7, staffed with highly trained professionals ready to provide life-saving care when you need it most. Don't wait. When minutes matter, trust Artesia General Hospital. Quality emergency care close to home. Learn more at artesiageneral.com.
This is the time of year we can get all 4 seasons in just one day. Hi, this is Ben Manette from Roswell Seed Company. 1 minute you're sweating in the sun, and the next minute you've got slush in your shoes. But that's winter in Roswell, and after 127 years, we're starting to get used to it. It's too early to plant very much, but you can fertilize pecan trees, spray for dandelions, order your bees, and pick up a new seed catalog. So come see us at Roswell Seed. Like Jim Gill would say, enjoy the warm days, but don't go far from the fire.
Tee up for the 3rd annual Roswell Honda Charity Golf Tournament, Saturday and Sunday, April 26th and 27th at Spring River Golf Course in Roswell, with a double shotgun start at 7:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. both Saturday and Sunday. Prizes for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place, as well as longest drive closest to the pin, and a Honda Civic driver and putter with a hole-in-one, plus free breakfast and lunch each day and free beer. Don't forget about the Trans-Aero helicopter golf ball drop at 9 a.m. on Sunday. Proceeds this year to benefit the VFW of Roswell. providing support and resources to our local veterans of foreign wars. Sign your team up at RoswellHonda.com or find Roswell Honda Charity Golf Tournament on Facebook to learn more. The 3rd annual Roswell Honda Charity Golf Tournament, Saturday and Sunday, April 26th and 27th at the Spring River Golf Course in Roswell. Sponsored by Pepsi, Southwest Printers, Pecos Valley Broadcasting, Albertsons, Trans-Aero Medevac, ABC Distributors, and Roswell Honda. Together we play for a purpose. Together we make a difference.
Interested in being an electric lineman? Central Valley Electric Cooperative is hosting a lineman camp May 29th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the CVE office at 1403 North 13th Street in Artesia. Camp is open to ages 17 to 22. Come spend the day with CVE linemen and learn about electricity and perform hands-on activities. Lunch will be provided. For more information and to register, visit cvecoop.org or call 575-746-3571. See if you have what it takes to be an electric lineman on May 29th at CVE's Lineman Camp. We hope to see you there.
I'm only going a short distance. I never wear a seatbelt for that.
Seatbelts are too constraining, so I don't want to wear it.
My pickup truck will protect me. Why do I need a seatbelt?
It's a fact. Seatbelts save lives. Whether you're going to the corner store or traveling across the state, wear your seatbelt. Whenever you get into a vehicle, be a good example for your passengers and buckle up. Seatbelts are there to protect you and your passengers, so wear them. Remember, if you buckle up, they'll buckle up. Sponsored by NMDOT and aired in cooperation with the NMBA and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The first toilet being flushed in a motion picture was in the movie Psycho. Mike thought it was Gone with the Wind. Here's Mike Winters.
That joke's a thinker, because people don't know the movie Gone with the Wind. They don't realize that was a Civil War era movie. So, not a toilet flush. That, in case you were wondering that joke. Good morning. It was 21 minutes. Sometimes you got to explain them. 21 minutes after 7 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning to talk character counts today, we have the CEOs of both of our hospitals in here. Warren Yell with Eastern New Mexico Medical Center, Nick Sharia as well with Loveless Hospital, Amy McVeigh-Tejas with character counts, wearing that hat this morning, and Brian hanging out in the background too. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How's everybody doing today?
Fantastic.
First off, thanks for coming. I know you guys, especially this time of day, because I imagine this is the day where you get hit with all the that didn't go well. That's broke. Got to fix this. You know what I mean? Is that time of this. So thank you for spending a few minutes with us. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, great. We're glad to be here.
Well, and this is something we kind of talk about a lot. I mean, obviously, the day job of what goes on at both your places is people getting taken care of and things. But this is kind of the other side that you don't see is both hospitals are very much involved in the community with activities and what we're about to talk about with character counts next week with, you know, if you just missed the last county commission meeting, they declared next week is character counts week. So, because there's a lot of stuff going on, but you guys always, as hospitals, always get behind things like this and say this is the kind of stuff that we want to, be our part with the community with. So how does it end up that way? Does Amy just come blowing up your doors and say, "Hey, like the Kool-Aid Man"?
But it's great. We want to engage. Amy came to me earlier in the year, and we're a sponsor for Character Counts. I've been to Gateway and awarded some of the medals to the students.
Oh, cool.
It's been a fantastic partnership.
It's kind of fun for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my kids go to Gateway as well, so I get to see them, and
sure.
So it's great to be a part of the community.
Does the kids flock to you? Like, are they at the age where they come to you or run away from you at this point?
Well, I coach a lot of them in baseball as well, so they tend to flock to me a little bit, but they definitely flock to Amy a lot.
Yeah, well, again, once they get a little older. So he still got the cool points. All right, good. Right. That does change after a while. You're like, oh, that's so cool no more. But how about for you, Warren? How is it that...
So for what it's worth, we almost had our calendar by it, and then even some years we're like, hey, I think this is coming up. We need to reach out. And
gotcha.
So
you're like, I'm proactive on it. This is something we do.
Right. And I know we know this, but this time of year is always kind of a hectic time. You know,
sure.
There's a lot of events, a lot of things. I think I'm quintuple booked most of the weekend.
Yeah, between school stuff and, it's just that time of your graduations and people, it's just a lot going on.
It sure is. But same like Nick, we all have kids in the school systems here, and so we hear about it both from the school side as well as my daughter Miriam, she's nominated several teachers for this event as well. And honestly, it's one of the highlights. So kind of like you were saying earlier, the hospitals, we're here for the hospital and the ERs and the acute care and everything else. But, health is so much more than that. So
absolutely.
Healthy schools and healthy community and healthy events and the social determinant programs that are out there, like the Roswell Refuge and others. We really try to be involved in all those because the better they do, the better our systems can do. In this
Absolutely,
market
too.
as well.
And plus, it's also part of securing our future because at the end of the day, the Character Counts Week, yes, we're honoring some great people that do some amazing things, most of them under the spotlight here in our community. But at the end of the day, this is also a teachable moment for all of our young folks in Chavez County. And so for you guys, I imagine it's also, this is a bit of, hey, when, Loveless and Eastern are going to be here a long time, and we would love to see you guys come be a part of our teams day. And so I'm hoping a few kids get inspired seeing you guys there and say, you know what, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a nurse, I want to be a X-ray tech, I want to be whatever that is, And so I think there's a little of that too, where we just show, as character counts, we're showing these kids how to treat each other, how to be good adults. But at the same time, it's also inspiring them to maybe see their paths and see, maybe they see you guys up there doing this stuff and say, you know what, I want to be a doctor one day. I want to help people as a healthcare professional, something like that.
Yeah, for sure. The lead time for recruitment is just insane. I mean, I know Nick's probably similar to me. We're recruiting 5, 6, 7 years out, and you're planting seeds all the time.
So these are just some real seeds we're planting.
Yeah,
literally.
right, exactly. Very young ages.
These kids need some dirt and water.
That's right.
But that's cool. That's what I love about this as much as it is. And I love the fact that we honor, like you said, the teacher's character. That's one of the highlights usually of Character Counts Week here. And as my wife being a teacher and has received a few of those over the years, I know it is a really cool thing to, especially from my wife's perspective as a person that receives this award every so often. It's really nice because it's from the people that are day to day. It's these kids, it's the moms, the dads, the sons, the daughters. It's the people that these folks deal in and day out that are saying, you know what, this person went above and beyond what the normal person does in this position. And so it's kind of a real, especially when it comes from that place as opposed to, like award shows and everything are great, you win your Oscars or whatever, but when it's actually like the peers, the people that you impact day and day that are spotlighting you in here, it kind of has a little bit more of a special feel to it. So I from that perspective, it's really cool that you guys do all this, Amy, and everything else. And it's so cool that you guys support that kind of thing and keep going. Because quite frankly, I'm going to take a stab. Character Counts goes the way of the dodo if things like Loveless and Eastern aren't supporting it and backing it, and some other entities as well too.
On behalf of Character Counts in Chavez County, I was just on the phone with Tim Fuller. I want to thank Tim Fuller. He's the executive director. We graduated together. It's unique that character can be defined by resiliency and integrity. I think Character Counts as an organization has been resilient. And one of the greatest honors we've had is creating this dream team. And I think that these hospitals can set an example for our community. Coming together to work together for the good. What a concept.
Yeah, because technically at the end of the day, you guys are competing for the same nickel and all that. But,
I love that. See, to me, they could be the trophy and these representatives of what our community needs. You know what? Get over yourself. And if you're from two, we come together.
Well, we're pretty unhealthy people. There's enough of us to go around.
That's a whole other conversation.
That's exactly right. But let me just trickle down how this happens, and they make this happen.
Absolutely.
Character Counts week is next week. Don't forget it. And we still need sponsors.
Absolutely.
And it is a moment for every school and every business to get involved. Get off your tails and do something great, right? If you're listening, and people could make things happen. Let's talk about this. We'd love to give every teacher a gift card. We may not have that in the budget. Somebody listening can make that happen.
We do have a lot of teachers.
We're going to honor volunteers on Monday.
Absolutely.
We're going to honor teachers, over 300 individuals. Thank you to Church on the Move for helping make that happen, Roswell Sertoma. Then we're going to honor the badge on Wednesday.
Excellent.
At the end of the day, Pioneer Bank, Sertoma, Church on the Move, and these amazing hospitals are making all that happen. But you know my heart, Mike, and we're not done yet. We'd love to give and give and give. So they're going to get certificates for a teacher of character. They're going to get plaques. But we're not done. So if somebody listening is saying, you know what, nobody called me. Well, this is your personal invitation. It is not too late for us to go pick up gift cards and do things, because at the end of the day, we're celebrating silent heroes.
Sure.
We are that are of integrity aren't telling their own stories,
Well,
but their kids are.
You know, and I
It's a
hope
special time.
You know, we talk about teacher stuff. I hope folks got a chance to listen a little yesterday as we had some of the RFD and RPD talking about the, of course, the every 15 minutes. That's where we're focused on. And if just hear some of the, and yes, we talked a lot about the families and how it impacted, but we got a chance to talk to the first responders and how it impacts them too. These people see this stuff I mean, you guys, they roll into your places day in and day out every day. And they see this stuff day in and it impacts them too. And so yes, you know, honoring the badge. I don't know. You go through events like yesterday, and it makes next week's honoring the badge just a little bit more important.
Right.
Because I mean, we all know what they deal with, but you know, sometimes it's easy to get, I don't know, just a little immune to it, or a little, you know, things get you harden yourself, and sometimes but sometimes you sit down and think, no, this is real. These people, what did you do today? I procured a burrito at Allsup's. I watched this, and you know what I mean? These guys, these men and women do something a little bit different, you know. And so that's kind of why we do this. So it's so great that we get to honor, and I hope people. You did for your teachers. I hope all the students and all the parents, if you have one that you think is special, please nominate them.
Right.
And I ain't gonna lie, it takes a minute to honor all these teachers, and that's a good thing. I hope the thing's longer.
Well, and Tim and I discussed one of our favorite moments every year is when these amazing hospitals have booked their calendar, and their amazing chefs start getting excited about
y'all be talking
that
about them
elevated
burritos.
menu.
I had one earlier this week. It's been great.
Of course, you might not be a hospital anymore if you pass one of those out to everybody. I'm sorry, we're bankrupt.
Well, to that point, I think, honestly, both our dietary teams, I think, do an amazing job.
Absolutely.
Mariano and Abdul. I think they both, if you want to watch a dietary team, give them a catering event, because they get to show off. And that's their art. That's their trade. They're practicing their passions there. And so it's a lot of fun to kind of give them the opportunity. I mean, honestly, we just tell them, make it happen.
Sure.
And they do an amazing job.
Well, and a little internal.
Well, but this is kind of the stuff for you guys to keep your staffs and things, because quite frankly, you guys are in a very cutthroat industry. The moment your doctors and staff aren't happy, there's someone else waiting to hand them a bigger paycheck somewhere. You know what I mean? So it's very important, even just for, you know, not for only just the customers and everybody else, but for your own people, taking care of them and doing that kind of thing. So, you know, we joke about the burritos and the food and all that, but it's integral in the big picture of just being humans and health. So it's a good thing. So, but yeah, it's so cool that you guys do all, you know, get involved in that kind of.
Well, and they get competitive, but in an elevated, cool way. Even the details, those details. How can we make this a little bit better?
Sure.
That's what I love. They're already talking about.
Iron sharpens iron, right?
Let's put it this way: there won't be plastic tablecloths. And I think
coupon for everybody.
No, it's not going to happen. It's a very classy event, and we could never thank you guys.
Why are there no bubbles in my water?
Right.
Sorry.
That's right.
But no, it's a lot of fun, and yeah, like you said, Church on the Move, and you know, there's so many staple groups and organizations that make this happen every year, and yes, it's literally like a rock show every time they do the teachers and the honor and the badge and all these different traditions that are part of Character Counts Week. But if you still want to get involved, please reach out. What's probably the best way? Just contact you or Tim direct, maybe?
I think that's fine. Tim Fuller with University High, or you can
Tim
call
might be harder to get a hold of.
Yeah. Well, if you want to get involved today, call the museum at 622-8333. That's Historical Society.
Yeah, that's her day job.
I would be honored to connect and just touch another life, impact any way we can. And these gentlemen right here are a perfect example. And I'm sure they would be honored to know that we need a bigger table next year, and we'd have 10 or 12 sitting at different organizations.
Absolutely.
To me, next level, what is it? Well, we'd love to work together to do that. We can never honor enough.
We'll drop the gauntlet. Any other businesses, organizations that want to, because this is your community. This is the Character Counts it's building the foundation of this community. This is we're honoring mostly the adults that are people of character. But it's all setting the table, setting the example, teaching these kids. Because guess what? Every single one of these kids are going to be those doctors, those cops, those teachers, those folks that are doing this stuff day in and day out. And so I kind of like it because it also puts these positions on a pedestal a little bit. Where and let's face it, I'm sure law enforcement and the teaching industries are
and
both
volunteers
desperately in needing of new people, new fresh blood, and more people.
And we
to
could
be in
keep reaching out because just like when we worked with, partnered with Nick with Gateway,
Mhm.
there could be every school's getting medals. We haven't even talked about coaches and athletes we're going to honor. We at You Challenge, we honor.
Absolutely.
It goes on and on. This program is a dynamic program, and I think every day should be Character Counts Day, if you will.
Well, that's the thing.
That's one thing we can all agree on.
Yeah,
I would say so, yeah.
Well,
we
and
can
I
all
think
agree on
most of us think of character counts. They think, oh, okay, they see the posters and they see the pillars, and they say,
Yes.
okay, it's a thing that that's absolutely the surface of, but that's just the propaganda. That's the imaging. The real work is actually being the coaches, being the teachers, getting in these classrooms, getting in these being good law enforcement, being excellent first responders, healthcare providers, all this stuff. These are people that save lives and do things and help people every single day, and it's part of their normal routine. Where, and it's every industry. Even those doctors sitting in the hospital room, they deal with stuff every day that, for you and I, that would be an extremely crazy day, but for them, that's like, well, this is Tuesday. This is just another day of the week, and so this is why we honor them, and we also want to foster the next generation of them because we're all going to keep getting sick. We're all going to need to be educated. We're going to need protection and law enforcement and safety and security. And these things are very important stuff. And that's why, and character counts is much bigger than that, but we kind of focus on some of those things. And I hope that parents use next week as a tool to talk to their kids about this stuff and sit down and say, with your family dinner table when you're sitting down. I'm sure you guys do it with your family all the time. How did school go today? And they talk about character counts, talk a little bit about this stuff, and have that conversation with your kids next week a little bit. Help cement the messages and the reasons why all the different events and activities are going to be happening.
Well, and I think to your point, that's spot on. And what I really like about the program, and this kind of highlights potentially the conversations next week, and that's a valid point. I probably could do more of that. We talk about, how are your grades, and look at all the hard metrics, right? A's and B's, and did you show up and everything else. But this really highlights those soft skills. And that's really, I know both Nick and I, as we're out there recruiting, the soft skills is really what's lacking in probably the world right now.
Sure.
Period. And so
you can train people for a specific thing, but how do they handle the ancillary when thing don't work as advertised, or when
how do you be a good citizen?
Yeah,
what does that even mean? What is citizenship? That's one I've kind of personally struggled with. 50 years ago was what you were as a youth. You were raised in that world. Nowadays, it's like, I don't know. I just live in this community. Whatever that. What does that mean? And how do I make the community better and items like that? Well, this is one of those programs that takes a minute, highlights those people that are doing it well, sets them up as examples. Because a lot of the people that get awarded or celebrated for this, they don't do it for the fame and fortune.
Right, most of them are you have to kind of, do I really have to go for this? Can you just send it me in the mail or something?
That's true.
So they tend to be very humble, et cetera. But at the end of the day, those are the kids, those are the ones.
Right.
And so they're impacting those the small group, the coaches and the like. But how do we get them and expose them a little bit further? And look at the great things going on in the community and the positive.
So I would even, add on to what you're saying, Warren, is for those folks that are the ones that, I get it. You don't want to but you're actually setting the table for the next you. That's what we're doing here right now.
That's right.
And so, yes, I get it. You're not doing it individually. And I understand it because when people start doing it to me, I'm like, stop, man. I hate that. But it is important. It is because, like you said, we need the next generation to see that. We need them to be inspired by that. Them to understand the importance of why you are here and what you do. And that's you're absolutely right. That's what we're setting the table for the future. That's what we're building. It's all about foundation and creating a foundation, and that's what character counts. We talk about pillars, and it's about foundation, and it's creating one for these kids. And so, get involved in any way you can, even if it's just as much as showing up and coming to these events and cheering.
If you're listening and you just want to be a member of Character Counts in Chaves County, we can make that happen.
Absolutely.
As minimal as $25, $30. Just becoming a member, because I think equally so with the Historical Society, every penny counts.
Yeah.
And we can do great things. And mentioning the foundation, I think we'd be remiss in honoring Judge Jones, and not just him, but the many.
Yeah, we'll see a few bow ties next week.
That's hey, I like a bow tie Tuesday.
Yeah.
And it is, but honoring him and the legacy of him and him and many that established this expectation, if you will, in the 90s, and we've never stopped. But I will say there's a bit of a shift. we lose some of our forefathers, and I would be remiss to not mention we need support. We need help. Boards dwindle. People kind of phase in and out of things.
Life happens. People get older.
This is something that should never phase out, in my opinion. And we need help. We need help, and it
So you need some young blood in there to kind of carry pick up the baton and carry it on.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So please get involved. Come out. If someone wants to kind of look and see like a schedule events for next week, is there a place they can go and do all that?
Yes, and they can follow us on Facebook.
Okay.
Character Counts in
So the
Chavis
Character
County.
Counts Facebook page will have
absolutely.
everything.
And there's
Maybe
been an event.
you put Chavis County on that search.
Yes.
Character, because you'll get a lot of
Chavis
Character
County.
Counts.
Yes, Character Counts! Exclamation in Chavis County. Well, speak to you about honoring the badge and teacher of character. We're gonna have a full house.
Usually it's a pretty packed standing room only for some of those events.
Yes, and honor the badge. And again, thank you to Pioneer and Sir Tolman. So many in Church on the Move. This is the dream team right here. These are amazing organizations just helping us lift up people.
Yeah, and they'd love a few more. Come on out, reach out. We'd love to talk to you. Maybe take some of the heavy lifting off the hospitals and Sertoma and Church on the Move and Pioneer Bank there a little bit.
Thank you isn't adequate enough to you guys.
Absolutely.
It's not. We just thank you so much.
Yeah, we do. This is and I know both you guys, and this is why you're doing, because you both get it. You understand. This is bigger than the day-to-day of things. This is about securing the future. This is about showing our youth the importance of why we do the things we do. And guess what? You guys are going to be the ones that are going to have to carry this torch forward for us. And because at some point we're all going to be sitting on our porches yelling at y'all to get off our lawns, and we ain't got the ability to do this anymore.
Well, one thing with this program I think is helpful, and burnout's a real thing. The world's kind of frustrated.
Sure.
It just seems in general.
Now more than ever.
And so it's really easy for those people that give of themselves and give to their community quite a bit to kind of get burned out or feel like they're not making a difference. I think these little moments where we can step aside, sometimes it seems silly, but like a certificate, but sometimes that certificate would be the thing that's like, I was really considering retiring or leaving or whatever.
Again,
but
I can speak firsthand as married to one of these people. Yes, I mean, she's 27 years, so she's eligible to retire now, but she's trying to go longer. But the daily grind does its thing.
That
to
little
you.
bit of
a
little bit of extra juice to kind of like maybe I'll do this a little bit.
Exactly, and so when she gets that moment, it's like even when it's the simple stuff, like because teachers, especially in younger. When you're doing elementary age, you get a lot of coffee cups and gift cards. You know what I mean? Because of the teacher thing. So,
it's right.
And even as simple as that is, it is very appreciative. When she gets the next thing you know, she comes home with this haul of cups and candies and everything. that does warm the cockles of the heart a little bit. It just does. And even if those small gestures do it, I don't care what anybody says. Keep doing them. People that do those things on a daily basis and all the time, keep doing them, because. For every person that says that's silly, deep down they're all thinking, well, that was nice. Even that moment of just because it's the human connection, and that's what you're talking about, Warren. Is that it's just that moment of someone saying, hey, we appreciate you, even if it's just a Hershey's kiss. You know what I mean?
Well, in the evolution of potato bar to charcuterie boxes during COVID to these chefs saying, we're doing a nice sit-down dinner.
We fought over the charcuterie boxes. I remember that.
And they were
she won because she was a teacher, but I wasn't going to lie.
They took charcuterie box to next level, too,
Yeah.
But this sit-down is something so special.
And
we're so thankful.
It is. It's and again, we thank Loveless and Eastern for getting involved with this year in and year out. While we got you here, like you said, recruiting, things like that, any messages either one of you want to let the public know that we got any information, anything, jobs, anything, whatever we can do to help you get word out about something.
Sure. Jobs, I mean, we're always hiring. But
right. I was going to say, we
can't find enough physical therapists in the community that want to work in the hospital. But, I mean, we'll have mammography up and running here pretty soon, 3D mammography. So I just want to put that out there, and bone density. So
good deal.
It's all the women that need their mammograms, diagnostic, all that stuff. We're ready to go.
Yeah. Warren, any...
Yeah, so we just made a major investment in 4 new ultrasound machines, particularly for more echoes. Echoes is that cardiac.
Okay.
I know a few years ago we
so more because every time you get new equipment, they're better.
It's
the technology is way better. Even even if you buy one a year ago, they've already got better stuff now. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The healthcare sector, it seems like every 2 years you're already outdated.
Yeah.
So they're they're pricey, but at the same time they're important, and it really does help our both our medical teams have.
Well, when you need
the
them, no one's
information
asking what they cost.
Yeah,
You
right.
need
right.
'em.
Exactly. But we're excited to get that, so those are up and running, and then we have several big things planned for throughout the year. You'll hear more about that coming up. We're waiting on ink on paper and things like that.
Sure.
But we're always trying to bring in. We have a new midwife who joined us just last week, Anna Lee, and so
great.
we're excited to have her on board. Yes. And then I know we have some other new talent headed our way, and so more to come in the future on that. And so we're excited for it. I think the future's bright. I think we're very lucky to have two great hospitals here in town providing services. And
Not many towns of this size are blessed with that kind of.
And then kind of to your point on the community events, we're already gearing up. We're working very closely with the Health Council. I know Loveless is as well about making sure we have a great event. It's in the mall this year. Planning for it. That's usually August. So
yeah.
We're
right around back to school time frame.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's not too early to get booths for that. I'm telling you right now, the Health Council is accepting booths and all that right now.
That
yeah,
is, absolutely.
I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Healthcare Week though as well, which starts Mother's Day this year.
Here in a couple weeks.
Here in a couple weeks starts Healthcare Week.
Is this when we get to salute our doctors and nurses and all that?
Anybody that works in the healthcare industry. So
every one of them deserve.
We have a lot of fun activities planned
at the
hospital.
Got to bust out some more charcuterie boxes.
There we go.
we all,
very deserving of it.
We all gained 15 pounds that week.
Yeah, there's a lot
every day.
It's the irony, isn't it? Eat healthy. Oh wait, but not right this week. We're all eat what you want this week. But next week we're back to the
right before summer. Get us all started off.
Exactly. Well, that gives you an excuse to walk the pass and get out there and do your thing too. I also want to point out too that if folks are looking to volunteer, there's opportunities at both hospitals. If you're looking to volunteer your time, and I know there's many different facets at both hospitals. That if you're like we're talking about character counts, you want to give back, maybe volunteer at one of the hospitals here to help people there. Again, if people are interested, I guess literally you should probably just walk to the front desk of the hospital and say, hey, I want to do some volunteer. You're one of the volunteers. How do you do this?
Exactly. There's not a really hyper-formal process out there, but we're always looking for volunteers.
Sure.
The auxiliary at Eastern has been around over 65 years. Do an incredible job. We were talking about scholarships. They give out, I think, $40,000 twice a year, and so we're getting ready to. The scholarships aren't open yet. We may want to come back and talk about that in a month.
Good deal.
But they try to focus on healthcare-related fields, and encouraging people to get in to the various programs here.
So the next time you need a doctor, there's one in the office. But yeah, please, that's a great. And trust me, we were talking about Healthcare Week. Those volunteers, they take a lot off some of those they got so many fish to fry. Those volunteers really help them navigate so they can focus on the big projects while we handle some of the ancillary stuff.
And I hate to say it this way, but the volunteers, while it's very much a service for the two hospitals, and we both appreciate it immensely, I think they get a lot out of it as well. Because
absolutely,
they have a place of belonging and community and social.
Everyone I've seen, it's kind of it's that they're feeding their own soul as they are helping others, and that's how it usually works. I guarantee. If you get out and volunteer, you're going to take more out of it than usually you put in. I mean, you're putting in a lot, but you're going to go home. It's especially when you have that one moment where you directly help someone that's in a situation that they felt like there wasn't a lot of options in, and you're able to navigate them through that. There's no better feeling than when you help them through that thing, and you get a lot of chances to do that by volunteering. Good deal. And of course, put your historical society hat. They're always looking for volunteers over there. If you want to be a docent or help serve in the archives to help John and them, sort through the piles and piles of artifacts that we have, it's not in piles.
I've always thought that would be fun to challenge an individual to volunteer just at so many, a multitude of different organizations.
You'll be a jack of all trades and show up at various places.
To kind of tell the story and experience, because we all have these needs. But you're right, when they volunteer with the objective to help, it does empower.
I feel we could turn that into like an undercover boss TV show, undercover volunteer, and he goes around at various places pretending to be.
So many
and they put him in ridiculous beards. Now, if you ever see Warren or Nick in weird beards or anything, they're on undercover boss. Nick's got hair now. Hi, Nick. I'm not Nick. I'm Joe. And I work in the janitorial section.
That's coming. Watch out.
Very good. But Character Counts Week is next week. For a complete schedule of events, and if you want to volunteer to get more involved, I invite you to go to the Character Counts Chaves County Facebook page. There you'll see dates, times. If you need to RSVP for anything, you can find all of that there on the page. And I'm sure if you walk up to one of the hospitals, the front desk, and say, I'm sure they can get you some, put you in touch, probably back to Amy, but they'll get you in touch with the people that do that. And of course, like we said, if you're a business or organization and want to get more involved, reach out to Amy, reach out to Character Counts, and let's see,
Temple or
we
myself.
can, because this is the kind of stuff that, if the community gets behind and it's been doing great for years, but like I said, it kind of needs we need some fresh faces. We need a little rekindling here of some of that. So please get involved. We need the next generation. If you're out there wanting, especially parents and things, and you're seeing this great work going on, let's do your part to spotlight and help and foster and encourage more of what you're seeing.
I love this healthy competitiveness, if you will, celebrating character. And I want to challenge Chaves County to do it in general.
Yeah.
Every business, every school, in a healthy manner. Let's celebrate character and let's see where we can take it.
When you get some cheerleaders on either side.
Hey,
I got character.
and we've had cheerleaders and bands.
Yeah, we
I
get
just
it all in
see
there.
it as a week full of celebration. And any
Absolutely.
way you can do that and honor those that are impacting lives, our silent heroes, honoring it through character. We want to do that.
And even use this as a reminder, maybe, if nothing else, just make an effort to be a little nicer.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Is a thing that you don't know what someone's going through when you experience their thing. And, I get it. At the moment, it feels fun to yell at someone or whatever. But at the end of the day, you usually feel like a jerkwad afterwards. If you got any kind of conscience. If you don't, maybe you got to see church on Sunday or something. I don't know.
That's a good example. How about next week we just hold that in? Just give a smile. Let's just keep that moment of silence and respect.
Not all of us are given the same deck of cards to start the poker game in, man. And we're all at different places and different experiences and different life, and we're humans. Two people can watch the exact same thing. You get two different meanings out of it. That's just humans. Remember that next week.
That's right.
All the time. And
Thank the county for the support. And I haven't said a name that I think behind every man is a great woman. And thank you, Mrs. Fuller. Mrs. Tim Fuller.
When she's not keeping the county straight at the clerk's office, she's keeping Tim straight at the house, right? She kind of has a job of always keeping people in line. I mean, as a clerk, that's kind of what, you know what I mean?
And
that's not right. No,
she's a
those numbers
fine
are-
example of character. Beautiful smile.
Absolutely. Yeah. And she'll be busy here next year. They're always busy, but election years.
That's right.
Maybe this is a downtime. I don't know how that works, the clerk. Like if it's like when it's not election day.
If that's like all of us here, is there ever a downtime?
They're all in a room playing. They're all in a room playing Uno. That's what they're doing until election season. I'm just kidding. But is there anything you guys wanted to cover we didn't before we let you get on to stomping out fires? I'm sure you got a bunch.
No, I really appreciate the opportunity
Yes.
to kind of echo this one program, and this program does an amazing job. Again, very proud to be a part of this, and we've been for years. Talk about resilience, one of the pillars there. During COVID, a lot of things fell away, and this is one that didn't. And we it was never as impactful. The security boards were great and very creative.
Right.
It's just even during peak COVID, we still did it. This is
That's
something
right.
that was important as a
That's right.
community.
And
we said we're going to.
I would argue it even got a bigger spotlight because of the
And
drive-through.
uniquely it did.
Like anybody was hanging out at the Wool Bowl around that time, like, what's going on with traffic around here?
Oh yeah, we saw traffic around Church on the Move, and it was a line. I will never forget that line, that mile-long line that
But
Tim
that was
Hoover said.
I was so impressed.
It's always
I
a
was
hot
so,
day, too.
Yeah.
Yes.
But to me, that was so cool. Like I'm like, man, I wish we just had a drone and photo this and put on because that's showing support. When you got I don't know hundreds of vehicles sitting out there doing this. And it was amazing. So let's do more of that next week, shall we? Let's pack every room. Let's make it sound like a rock concert every time these teachers and these first responders are getting their awards next week, and show them some love and get more involved by going and through character counts. Thank you again, guys. For coming in and joining us. Appreciate that. I know you guys have a busy schedule. And Brian, good job keeping Warren.
Thank you, Brian.
There's 3 reminders, but I'm here.
And of course, obviously, what you guys do day in and day out, helping folks in this community and being part. And if the healthcare world is the healthcare world. It is what it is. But we are blessed in this community to have not one but 2 excellent hospitals in a town that, quite frankly, is not big enough to handle. You know what I mean? There's plenty of business, but there's no town of 50,000 with not one but 2 hospitals. You know, if you want 2 hospitals, you got to move to Lubbock or Albuquerque. And that's just how it works. So we're very blessed. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
And Amy, thank you for everything
it's a
you guys
pleasure.
do, and with not only character counts, but with the historical side, with all the other, because Amy kind of blends it all together. You know, it's historical side, but then again, there's youth challenge helping out with character counts things, with the, you know,
That's right.
with the blood services stuff. I mean, there's just always a tie. So,
Mhm.
good deal. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time.
Thank you,
and,
Mike.
Thank you for having
don't
us.
work too hard and go eat a burrito.
Happy day. Happy day.
7:55. Let's pause for news and a quick commercial break. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Thanks for joining us. Our top story, Roswell police are part of this weekend's National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. RPD partnering with Walgreens to host the event at the company's South Roswell store on Saturday. The store at 1200 South Main Street in Roswell. RPD officers will be there from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, and you can drop off any unwanted or unused prescription medicines. The service is free. You can always remain anonymous. Also this year, vape devices will be accepted as long as the batteries have been removed. Liquid products must be in their original container. Make sure the cap is tightly secured. Also, take note, syringes, sharps, aerosols, and inhalers and illicit drugs will not be accepted. Also on Saturday, there is a free pop-up food distribution event scheduled in Artesia at the Bulldog Bowl. The event begins at 10. Anyone seeking food assistance can go. No registration needed. Make sure your car trunk, truck bed, or back seat is clear. Just follow all the directional signs. The format for this food distribution will be drive-through. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? Great selection, great savings, and great people. Roswell Hyundai has an amazing selection of makes, models, and model years to choose from. If you can't find it, Roswell Hyundai can get it. And Roswell Hyundai will take any trade. The experts at Roswell Hyundai will work with you to get you behind the wheel of your next dream ride. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do! Come check out the Used Car Supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Hi, I'm Chef Anthony Noble at the Valley Cafe located at 801 West Brasher in Roswell. We want to welcome you for dinner 5 to 8 p.m. weekdays, except Wednesday we close at 2 p.m. If you haven't tried our food yet, I hope you come try one of our dinner entrees, pasta, soups, salads, burgers, and sandwiches, and our weekly specials as well. Let me make you great dinner. Visit the Valley Cafe at 801 West Brasher, the Orange Building across from Church on the Move in Roswell.
Can't see us in person? Find our full menu on DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Elephants use these skin folds on their bodies to crush mosquitoes. Mike Winters uses his to hide M&Ms. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:58. Stay tuned next hour. Excuse me. Sorry, hiccups hit me. So happens you try to drink water fast right before you go on, and then it does that. My apologies. But sorry, next hour, we're going to have Don Well join us wearing his Friends of the Zoo hat, talking about the Spring River Zoo, getting an update on there as they still are dealing with flood stuff, and kind of the Friends of the Zoo, once the flood happened, kind of took a little hiatus. There was a lot of damage done in there, and so they were kind of a little inactive for a while, but they're kind of bringing back the band together and getting volunteers and getting active again. So we'll get an update from Don here on that next hour. Also, don't forget that if you missed any of yesterday's or any of the stuff from the Every 15 Minutes, it is all up on our website at ksvptv.com in the Mornings with Mike Winters channel. You'll find it on our 106.5 Roswell Talk FM Facebook wall, too. But if you did miss some of that, especially, if you get a chance with some of your family, kids, like if you want to talk about these kind of things, we had some great conversations with the Lopez family, with the RFD, RPD, Mike Taylor, the deputy chief, Chief Wozniak. We got to talk to all those guys. Had a great conversation with them. Not only talking just about the every 15-minute stuff, but just the impacts outside of it. We always, and that's what that program's about. So And then again, thank you to Diane Taylor once again for allowing us to be a part of that and participate. It's very cool that she allowed us to do that. All right, it is 8 o'clock. Town Hall News is up next. We'll be back on the other side of news. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour, townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. President Trump is condemning the latest Russian attack on Ukraine. He writes in a social media post, "I am not happy with the Russian strikes on Kiev. Not necessary and very bad timing. Vladimir, stop. 5,000 soldiers a week are dying." Mr. Trump's also frustrated with Ukrainian President Zelensky for refusing to consider recognizing Crimea as Russian territory as part of a peace agreement. The BBC's John Donison.
As for the handing over of Crimea to be officially recognized by the United States as Russian, well, that is basically a non-starter for President Zelensky. He said it would be against Ukraine's constitution. Donald Trump is clearly impatient. It's said he wants to try and get this done within his first 100 days in office, basically by this time next week. And it is extremely difficult to see where the compromises needed are going to come from and what compromises Russia is being asked to make.
90 countries and counting. Commerce Secretary Lutnick says the U.S. has spoken with those nations about working out some kind of a deal on tariffs. Dick Durbin says 5 terms in the U.S. Senate, quite enough. The Illinois Democrat will not run for re-election next year.
Durbin made the announcement on X, writing that I truly love the job of being United States Senator, but in my heart I know it's time to pass the torch. Durbin was first elected to the Senate in 1996. He served as Senate Democratic whip since 2005. He is the 4th Democrat to announce they won't be running in 2026. The others include Senators Gary Peters of Michigan, Gene Shaheen of New Hampshire, and Tina Smith of Minnesota. Bob Agner reporting.
Stocks have turned positive now on Wall Street, adding to yesterday's gains. Dow is up 42 points. The Nasdaq ahead 224 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Bankers Equalizing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
Tens of thousands have already paid their respects to the late Pope Francis at St. Peter's Basilica.
Francis's open wooden casket is perched on the main altar at St. Peter's. Swiss guards stand at attention. In the first 8 hours, more than 19,000 people passed by, including Chris Queen.
A real pleasure and privilege to be there.
It took hours to reach the casket. Some people held their cell phones in the air as they got closer to get pictures. Cardinals, including Italy's Fernando Filoni, met in private to finalize details of the Pope's funeral and plan the conclave to elect a successor.
We have to wait to pray and to have our meetings, and then afterwards we decide.
Cardinal Kevin Farrell is running the Vatican until a new Pope is elected. I'm Ed Donahue.
Hong Kong's outspoken Roman Catholic Cardinal Joseph Zen has been allowed to leave the southern Chinese city to attend Pope Francis' funeral in Vatican City. News and analysis at townhall.com. A set of the first 4 editions of Shakespeare's collected works expected to sell for up to $6 million at auction next month.
The sale will take place on Shakespeare's 461st birthday. Sotheby's said the May 23rd sale will be the first time since 1989 that a set of the first, second, third, and fourth folios has been offered at auction at a single lot. The first folio was published in 1623, 7 years after Shakespeare's death. It contains 36 plays, of which half were published there for the first time. Scholars say that without the book, plays including Macbeth, The Tempest, and The Twelfth Night might have been lost. Keith Peters, Washington.
Secretary of State Rubio says Iran must give up nuclear enrichment as part of any deal with the U.S., but Iran has long refused to give up its ability to enrich uranium. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday.
Ah, yes.
Now, here's another thing. We were talking about character counts and every 15 minutes last hour, but right now is one of my favorite sports times of the year.
Oh, yeah?
Generally speaking.
Okay.
Because it's now...
Hold on, can I just guess?
Uh-huh.
Curling season's getting underway.
Nailed it.
It's such a fun time of year.
Yep.
Curling night in America is so awesome.
But what makes it pushes it over top is the Tiddlywinks tournament.
Oh, of course.
That happens.
And the Hall of Fame that precedes it.
That's right. And the keepy uppy. Now, what I like about it is, and this always happens, with the exception of one year because they moved it to May, but my birthday is always NFL draft weekend.
Oh, yeah.
It always just lines up that NFL draft and my birthday. Now, because my birthday is on a Friday, it's day 2, but like last year was day 1 of the draft. But every year, the draft is, if my birthday's not Friday, then it's that week up. It's always right there. Except one year the NFL moved it to May, like 3 years ago for some reason, and then brought it back. But anyway, so I love. Now I don't watch the draft like people watch the draft because I ain't that crazy.
Right.
I'm not gonna sit there and watch hours of people just picking people. That's just weird.
Yeah, no, it's a lot.
That's not sports. That's just obsession.
But that's the thing is there are people that are paid good money to do that for me.
But that's what I like doing. I'll sit on Twitter and I'll see, ooh, they just did. All right, cool. And then now Washington, because they're good again, they won't be picking till like late tonight.
Right.
They pick like 29th, so which is a good problem to have. But but on top of that, and this is why I love it, is my favorite time of the year. Not because of the draft, but because that's going on, and then it's always NHL playoffs.
Oh, yes.
And the Caps are usually around this time because it's the first round. They did win the Cup in 2018, but they usually have a history of one and done. They get the first round, then they lose the first round. That's kind of that's their MO. What they do, and of course that's this time of year. Now Caps just had Game 2 last night. They are up 2-0 in the series against. Now they are the 1 seed in the East, and they're playing the 8th seed or 12th, whatever. I think it's 8th seed in the East there. So
gotcha.
They should win. But they're up 2-0.
It's a good time to be a Washington sports fan.
It is.
I mean,
well, and that's another thing I got to tell you. Last night the game was in Washington. Game 3 will be tomorrow night, and they go to Montreal.
Right.
So the first 2 games are in Washington because they're the higher seed. The next 2 will be in Montreal, and then they do a 1-1 until they get if they need to get to 7. My think is I'm hoping after 2 games in Montreal we're done with this series and moving on to the next one. That's what I'm hoping.
That would be most ideal.
But that being said, you're talking about being a good time to be a Washington fan because of the Redskins and all this. Sorry, Commanders. Last night at the game, and it's bedlam because it's a playoff game. You know, the Commanders right behind the glass in the front row, all wearing the black Ovechkin jerseys.
Nice.
Is one Jaden Daniels.
Oh.
One Marcus Mariota. And one Sam Hartwell. That's the entire quarterback room for the Washington Commanders. That's the first string, the second string, and the third string. And they were going crazy up there.
Showing
They're
out
getting the
support.
crowd
Nice.
going. Like they said, Jane Daniels literally spent a period just signing autographs for folks.
Nice.
He was that cool.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I saw all kinds of footage last night of them going crazy and doing their thing. Now here's the thing: most people know Jaden, and they know Marcus Mariota. Marcus is, he was a Heisman Trophy winner.
The way it went as I was listening was,
Sam Hartwell.
Right. That name sounds very familiar, though.
He is the third string quarterback. He was signed as a free agent last year. He was a Notre Dame quarterback there, and he was very popular in Notre Dame. But he is more famous not for his football playing ability.
Mm-hmm.
He's a strapping, handsome lad, and the ladies love them some Sam Hartwell. And last year when he was brought in, and all of a sudden a lot of female fans, who's this Sam kid? He should be the quarterback. He's dreamy, because he's got the flowing hair, and he does that whole, oh my God. And he's actually kind of self-conscious. Like, he's like, I really would be appreciated for my football skills, not my beauty.
Right.
But yeah, ladies love the Sam Hartwell.
He's quite the dreamy son.
Oh, are you taking a gander at
character,
Sam?
yeah.
Yeah, Sam's dreamy. And that's why Sam's got a following. Because Sam's got the ultimate awesome gig. He literally sits on a bench. In practice, he has to run around and do stuff. But most of the time, he's the third string guy. He probably even have to dress sometimes.
Yeah.
He literally and now ladies swoon to him because he's dreamy. And now he's probably making a couple $100,000 a year doing nothing. I mean, not nothing, but, certainly not working harder than the second and first string quarterback. Right. And I'm guessing one day he hopes to be one. And I've seen him play a little bit. He's all right. He know JD, but he's all right. And he might get on with a team somewhere. But yeah, but anyway, all three of them were at the Caps game last night. Just raising havoc. And then they did, I guess that's the first time they got to experience something that the Caps do, is, to kind of get a rally going and all that thing. The whole stadium, they do this. It's called Unleash the Fury. And they do this the announcer does this thing, and you're going to roar, and the crowd starts going, and all of a sudden he goes, Unleash the Fury! And people just go bananas. And JD and them got to see all that. They were like, whoa, this is crazy. They were all, it was
it's like the build-up in a Skrillex song. You're just waiting for the beat to drop.
Well, there's so much tradition hockey. Like, if you watch the games, and because it's Canada, the Montreal team, they're Canadians, they're a Canadian team, and then obviously the Caps are American. So these series, they play Canadian and American anthems before each. That's just hockey.
Right.
NHL tradition. They do it all the time. But the Caps also have other weird traditions when the national anthems are being played. It's actually a DC thing. It's not just a Caps thing. It's so if you ever watch a DC team playing and they do the national anthem at a home stadium, you're going to hear them scream twice during the middle of the national anthem. And they do it. And, of course, people don't. Now, JD and them know because they're Washington players. But for the Capitals, whenever they say the Rockets' red glare, everyone yells red. Red! And the other one is actually an homage to something that's not even DC.
Okay.
Is towards the end of the song where he says, where they go, oh, the land of... When they say, oh, the whole crowd goes, oh. And that's for the Baltimore Orioles.
Ah.
Because Washington didn't have a baseball team for many years. The Orioles were their team. And so whenever they do they do the big O for the Orioles. And to this day, even though the National have been around 20-plus years, they still do O for the Orioles. There's still a O
that's
homage.
neat. I had no idea.
So that's whenever you watch a game and you say, why are they going O? Or why are they doing it? That's why. It's part of the tradition of DC sports.
It's always funny when you find out the secret traditions of a team or something that just everybody in the area knows.
Yeah, but that's DC's. That's they rock the red, and that's their big thing for the Capitals, and then for the Orioles, even though technically Baltimore's not DC's team. But anyway, there you go. Let me.
I do feel like we've all learned something today. That's neat. I'm going to listen for it now, and I'll never be able to not hear it.
Oh yeah, I do it like last night. I did it at the house. Red. Kim's looking at me like I'm weird. I'm sorry. You do.
It's all right. You hit a certain age. I figured this out. You hit a certain age, and you just start talking to your TV. Like I used to get laugh at my dad for doing it.
I was yelling at refs left and right last night.
I do it all the time, to the point where my kids, I think, are getting worried. They're like, Dad, they can't hear you. I'm like, no, I know that. It's for my sake.
You know you're bad when you start yelling at the news. That's what I do, too. That's why I'm like, I need help.
Yeah, that's
I'm yelling at the news anchor.
Okay, let's go touch some grass.
I'm yelling at the news anchor now. I need to stop. So, let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a few. Don Weld going to join us here in just a few minutes, wearing his Friends of the Zoo hat today, and technically T-shirt. But yes, he's like I said, we joke every time he comes in. He's involved with so many different organizations. But today we're talking zoo here today. So we'll get an update from the Friends of the Spring River Zoo here from Don. Later on in the hour, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety, Wall Street business updates, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. But first, your weather, and I'm just saying. I was surprised because, you know how I told you at the beginning of the week, the rain thing, and they had like a 50%, and it was good. And then they did what I said they were going to do. They kind of went down, but they kicked it back strong with the rain chances for this weekend. So here's your weather. Yeah. Tomorrow night and Saturday, we got good chances of rain.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Not as windy today. It will be a little bit breezy, though. Some clouds early, and then sunshine in the afternoon. Will be up around the 90-degree mark. For the overnight hours, clear, 50 to 55 on the low, and then sunny on Friday. Will be in the upper 80s. We do have a system moving in Friday night and Saturday. Could get a few showers from that. Then we're back to sunshine Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Dead air gets me nervous. Currently 60 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 93%. I don't know. Does it feel thick out there, Don? I've been out there recently. He's a little heavy. Yeah. Winds are currently out of the southwest at 9 miles per hour. We are under. Well, no, that's actually ended. There was a dense fog advisory. They haven't, but that's cleared up here. But that wrapped up at 8 o'clock. For today. It's going to be warm, 88, pushing 90 today. Partly cloudy, early, gradually becoming sunny. Southwest winds 5 to 10 today, so they're not going to be too breezy, but it will be warm. Tonight, mostly clear, overnight low of 52. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow will look a little similar to today. Sunny, highs near 90. A little bit breezier, 5 to 10. South winds early, 10 to 15 for the afternoon tomorrow. Excuse me, and then tomorrow night, we're looking at like a 50% chance at showers and thunderstorms possible. They're talking after 9 p.m. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 58. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, we're looking at a 60% chance of rain, and they give me that word salad where it's like a chance of showers and thunderstorms before 9, and then a chance of showers between 9 and noon, and then showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm after noon. That's literally, I just read you verbatim what they told me. Mostly cloudy. Cooler tomorrow, 76. I mean, not tomorrow, Saturday. High of only 76 on Saturday with winds out of the northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. 20% chance of rain Saturday night, mainly before midnight, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 59. And then Sunday, it warms back up into the 90s, mostly sunny at 91. And I'm going to take a stab. It's going to be humid. Like if we get the rain, we get Friday and Saturday. Sunday's going to be 91 and humid. It's going to feel like DC out there. And if y'all never experienced that, it sucks. It's not fun. And then partly cloudy, overnight low of 56 Sunday. And then Monday, mid-80s, low 80s Tuesday. Maybe some rain chances Wednesday of next week. We'll see. All right, 8:18. We're going to take a 3.5-minute break, and then Don will join us here talking Friends of the Zoo on the other side. Don't go away.
Do you know what the hardest part of dealing with a roofer is? Just trying to get them on the phone. Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I want you to know that you can always trust Trustmark Roofing to answer our phone. Need a free roof inspection? Just call us at 575-755-ROOF, and we'll answer with a live person, a real human being. Have a roofing project already going with us and need to discuss it? Just call 575-755-ROOF, and we will answer the phone. No answering machine, no voicemails, and no weird robot automated attendant. That's because at Trustmark Roofing, we're all about relationships and treating people right. That's true for customers and vendors and insurance companies and employees. Anyone and everyone who comes in contact with our company. So if you have any roofing needs at all, trust Trustmark to treat you right and to answer the phone. Our number again is 575-755-ROOF, or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Usually when you hear the comment that someone is aging gracefully, they're speaking about a person's physical appearance. Although that is a nice compliment, I'd rather age gracefully in my spiritual life. I want to come to the end of my life and know that even though I wasn't perfect, I'm confident that God's saving grace covers me and I'm ready to go to heaven with Him. Because of that saving grace, I want to have lived my life serving Him and serving others to the best of my ability. We all have physical and mental challenges as we age, but that doesn't stop us from serving Him or serving others. It may change how we serve, but it doesn't stop us from serving. We don't retire from our Christian life. It's never too late to start living the life God calls you to. It's never too late to accept the saving grace that God offers to all. No matter your age, no matter your abilities, come join us as we learn how to better know Jesus and make Jesus known.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Bob Reed Pest Control. Reliable, professional, and experienced. The technicians at Bob Reed Pest Control have been providing pest management services for over 50 years and will continue to set high standards for their customers. Protect your family's most important investment, your home, and protect your children and pets from the dangers of poisonous bugs and insects. Everyone at Bob Reed Pest Control are trained and knowledgeable in the latest pest management practices, offering effective treatment plans for each situation. Bob Reed Pest Control. Find them online, BobReedPestControl.com, or call 575-623-5344. Serving all of Southeast New Mexico.
Whether you're a homeowner, a landscaper, or a contractor, we all have reasons to dig. If you're planning to dig, this is just a friendly reminder that locating underground utilities is important. It's actually the law. Call 811 3 days before you dig. New Mexico Gas Company is one of the utilities that will come out free of charge to mark our underground lines up to the meter, so you'll know what's below. We're New Mexico Gas Company, and our priority is keeping you safe. That's why we're here. Learn more at nmgco.com.
The Roswell Symphony Orchestra presents Kinderman Plays Beethoven, Saturday, May 3rd, 7:30 p.m. at Pearson Auditorium in Roswell. William Kinderman returns to Roswell to perform Beethoven's Piano Concerto No. 5, Emperor, along with works by Weber, Dvorak, and Richard Strauss. Tickets are on sale now and are available at roswellsymphony.org or by calling 575-623-5882. Kinderman Plays Beethoven, Saturday, May 3rd, 7:30 p.m. at Pearson Auditorium in Roswell. Paid in part by the City of Roswell Lodgers Tax.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. U-Haul is the world's largest advertiser in the Yellow Pages. Too bad millennials don't know what the Yellow Pages are. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, like I said, wearer of many hats, but this morning wearing his Friends of the Spring River Zoo hat, Don Weld back with us. Good morning, Don.
Good morning, Mike. How you doing today?
Doing great. How's life in your worlds of things?
Busy, busy, busy.
Busy, busy, busy. I know you're always something, whether it's driving veterans to their medical appointments somewhere around the state or outside of the state, or like I said, being at the zoo or hanging out at Bitter Lake doing a service project or something like that. Yep. You're always kind of got your hands into something. So now it's zoo.
Speaking of animals, I took my cats into the vet.
Oh.
Have you ever tried to put a cat in a cage?
Yeah, they don't like it. Usually.
No, they don't. Now, I figured out 2 of them, but that third one didn't do it on purpose, but he got me.
Yeah.
And he got me good right on the vein.
Ooh, bled like a pig, huh?
Yeah. Okay, George.
It does happen. Yeah. Matter of fact, I have one cat that Kim and I are the only ones that can put him in the carrier. Like every time we'll take her to the vet, they'll be back there and they'll tell us, "No, we can do it." And I'm like, "You can't." And then they'll be gone for 10 minutes, and finally someone comes out, "Hey, can you help?" I was like, "She does only trust us to do this. It's just how she is." And it amazes them because I can literally pick her. Now she'll grumble, but I can place her in there, and she doesn't. But everybody else, fight kick. Kim or I grab her, pet her, love her, put her. She goes right in.
Okay, that's my mama, daddy. Yeah.
Kim and I can get away with things that cat that no other person on the planet can get away with. So, including that one. But yes, I understand that pain. It wasn't always the way.
No, it takes a while.
Yeah,
it takes a while.
I had to earn some of that love. And, there's a reason why my arms are beat up as they are here sometimes. So. You should see my thigh from when the cat's on the lap and leaping off all the time. It looks like I've
or
cheese.
kneading.
Yes.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, they do beat me up a little bit, but it's all in love.
Over at the zoo, there's a cat there that I don't think I would want to knead me.
No, that cat's slightly a little large for that. Although I imagine you put it in its loving zone, it might try to do some of those things.
Yeah, it might.
Cats are like that. Even big tigers and mountain lions, and you get them in that loving mode. They act just like house cats. They'll roll around and rub their faces on you and do all that stuff.
You see that with these rescue places, wild cats, wild animals, and they'll bond with the wild animal, and they'll get really close to their human companions.
Yeah.
So
it's. Now I wouldn't recommend most people doing that. Not everybody's cut out.
No,
for
you gotta have a special count.
And to be honest, they are still wild animals. And they're, how many times do you see those videos on TV of someone befriending a bear or a lion, and then it doesn't go so well after a while. Yeah. But then after a while, it usually goes bad. Like there's all kinds of stories of people live with the bears or whatever, and they had this, and then
all of a sudden the bear goes.
We're done with you, and bye, researcher.
Right.
That happens all the time, even to the experts. So don't try that at home. But stick to your house cats if you're going to roll around with.
That's right.
But if you do want to get more involved, the Friends of the Zoo are always looking for, like I said, I was mentioning earlier, the flooding kind of created a bit of a hiatus for the Friends of the Zoo. But now we're trying to get the band back together, get everything going. And so we really are needing volunteers or needing more people to get involved in the Friends of the Zoo so we can start tackling. They got a list of projects they want to work on and get going and get remedied here. But we need money and manpower and all that kind of stuff to get that things happening. So.
Yep, we need to. We don't really have. Technically, we don't have a membership right at the moment,
and that's what we got to start with. Let's get one.
So we got to start building that membership. So let's start. If you want to join, become a member. Give me a call.
Yeah, it's not that expensive to be a member.
No,
right?
no.
Your dues and your membership fees go back to these projects and everything we're talking
they'll get
about.
Back into the
we got to build the nest egg back up, but that's what it's going to.
Yep. And of course we've got major projects that we'd like to work on, like the bears. Get that straightened out. The damage that was done through that big flood, we've got a lot of work out there to clean up and get going. So we need to get people,
absolutely,
members, and then as a group. Start fundraising and get things going.
This is one of those things I say every time. If you want a nice community and you're waiting on the city or the government to do it, you're going to be waiting forever.
You're going to,
if you want a nice zoo, then we the public have to go out and make that happen.
After all, that's what it says. We the people.
Exactly. And this is, and I'm not trying to, whatever on city stuff, and people have their opinions, thoughts, whatever. I'm not trying to address one way or another on that. All I'm saying is, they've got a lot of expenses. They've got a lot of things to triage. And quite frankly, the zoo is very low priority on that compared to other needs.
Unfortunately, yes.
And it's just not as necessary as some of the other projects they have.
We got to take care. Well, after all, the city is here for the people.
Sure. They got a lot bigger infrastructure issues they're working on, and zoo is not as a bigger priority as those things. It's just not. And guess what? People have other issues. Understand that completely. It's like, wait a minute, I can't get my thing done, but the zoos. That's why this is all. It's got to be us.
This has got to be people.
Yeah. If you want to see the zoo awesome, if you want to see all those things, and you think people have those opinions about the animals and how they should be one way or another, you want to be actively involved in that. Come be a friend.
That's right.
This is how you fix it. If you have issues or if you have things you want to concerns, then get into there and let's be part of the solution here and come help us. Because that's where they're at right now. They need volunteers so we can rebuild the pool, rebuild the coffers, to start tackling the projects like the bear cage and the other 100 projects that now the flood has created and caused here.
And that would also include the railroad, because it's not functioning right now because the rails wash all that stuff out.
Like if you miss the nostalgia side of it and you want it back, and guess what? You got to
help.
Got to come help us.
We need the help very badly.
You want to see that train running again. You want to see the kids regularly on the merry-go-round again and doing all this kind of stuff. Even though that thing's still pretty okay, but
the merry-go-round is operational.
Well, and it's the blessing of that thing is in its age and simplicity.
Yeah.
Because it's so low tech compared to a modern merry-go-round.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a lot of electrical parts or nothing, so it gets wet. It's just a matter of getting the
all
rust off and
mechanical.
getting the lube and
Yeah, that's
and
right.
they start
It's
cranking
all
the gears
pretty
again.
much all mechanical.
Yeah, that was the blessing in disguise of that merry-go-round is
Yeah.
because of its simplicity, it actually keeps it going.
But even that, each
Oh, yeah,
one-
it's still not. It needs help in
Each
working,
one of
right?
those horses and rideable
Yeah.
items, they all need to be cleaned up and updated.
Well, yeah, they're
painted.
they're
and,
ancient, but
you
as
know.
far as we didn't lose them.
No, we
If they
didn't,
were
yeah.
filled with LED and all those other stuff, we probably would have. They would have probably been fried and done.
Oh,
and
yeah.
had to replace them.
Be out of it. So
This one is no. We just got to get some oils and sand some rust off or whatever you got to do and get lube the gears and get all that going and clean it up and she's probably just runs just like she did when she was built many moons ago.
That's right.
But,
many moons. Oh man, I think that thing might be older than me.
It's
and
iconic.
that's older than dirt.
It's a piece of Roswell history. It really is.
It is.
It's kind of, especially if you lived here your whole life. You can't,
Yeah.
Every kid knows that thing, And that train's kind of the same way. And so we want to bring it back, but it takes you and everyone else to step up and be a part of this. If you have a passion for this and you're waiting around for someone else to do it, you're going to be waiting forever.
That's right.
Come to the meetings,
Come
sign
out
up,
and-
talk to Don, and let's say, hey, I want to be a friend of the zoo.
Give me a call, and we will get you in on it and get you going.
And there's perks for all this. Like if you want to get behind the scenes of the zoo stuff, and Friends of the Zoo do that all the time. If you're wanting to, meet and greets with the animals and things, not all of them obviously, but
Right.
that Friends do all that kind of stuff all the time. That's
I don't
kind
think
of the
we
perk.
want to get in the cages with that lion or
Yeah,
the,
but
or
see,
the
Mike,
bear. But
view from afar on that one. But
there you go.
a lot of people like to hang out with some of the smaller ones that are in there, or some of the the more friendly animals.
and I don't think we'll let you ride the buffalo.
No,
so-
probably not.
No.
But I'm sure some of those little monkeys and little things they got in there that love
Oh
socialization.
yeah, the lemurs love people.
Yeah, yeah, and or to me, I gotta be honest, it's not the most exciting one, but my favorite is the bald eagle.
Oh,
I love
yeah.
the bald eagle in there, and it's a
Yeah.
rescue bald eagle, and it's seen its days. It's an older bird, but still looking majestic as ever. And,
I'm afraid we're it's not too much longer.
yeah, it's an old bird.
he's
She's been
getting
around
old.
a long time, but
Yeah.
to me, she still looks majestic. She always
So-
will be.
Yep.
And it's a bald eagle.
That's America's bird.
Well, I don't think a lot of people realize how big a bald eagle is till you see one in person. Like
Yeah.
you see them on TV or
Yeah.
whatever, but when you're sitting next to one, you're like, dang, this thing's like 3 foot tall.
Yeah.
And then when you get the wingspan going and everything, they
and
get
and
big.
you wonder, you see these films of these eagles that fly over. They scoop down and grab this big fish. The fish is as big as they are.
Oh, I know.
And they're lifting that fish out
Their
of the
claws
water.
and everything, those talons
Oh,
are very
man.
powerful.
And their
jaws are
strong.
equally strong.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So-
kind of like the other one that amazed me was owls. Like,
Oh.
yeah, like if you ever seen the legs and stuff of an owl when you lift up the
Yeah.
it's like a bunch of little Arnold Schwarzeneggers under there. Those
That's right.
the arms, they're cut, man. It's
You
like
know
it's all
it.
muscle under there. Those owls don't mess with them either.
No, the big barn owls, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't realize that. Like I literally saw a picture, a guy kind of lifted up the feathers, and you see like the legs and everything. I was like, holy
Holy-
cow, that thing looks like
He
it's-
works out.
He did not miss leg day.
Yeah,
at the gym.
That's right. He works out.
Yeah, but yeah. So if you like that side of it, come be a friend, because that's very much it's not all. It's work and everything else, and there'll be fundraisers and things like the Brews of the Zoos of the past and all that. We want to bring all that kind of stuff back
Yep.
again, but we need you and everyone else to kind of step up and be a part of that. But to do all that, and part of that too is like when we do on these service projects, you're working on the animal kit, you get to interact directly with that. You get to work directly with the staff there, that the professionals with the animals and things. I don't know if they're zoologists. I don't know what their proper term is, but those folks there.
I don't think we have anybody that actually is a zoologist.
Gotcha.
But
But that field, that these
Yeah,
are people
they
that
do.
they're the ones that deal with the animals, the training, and have the
Yep.
proper know-how. and
They're
then-
the good people.
yeah, and so you get to work directly with them sometimes doing this stuff because,
Yeah.
quite frankly, they need help.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I mean, I imagine if they got to administer some kind of medicine or something to one of these bigger animals, they're going to need a few people to handle that task. And
Yeah,
sometimes you're the
it
one.
takes about 15, 20 people to hold down a buffalo.
I'm about to say,
Yeah.
yeah, at least. And that's and the thing about this too, and this is something I always want to tell folks and remind, and this is where people, A lot of these animals, most of these animals, they're rescue animals. Like that bald eagle's there because the bald eagle was in the wild and it couldn't survive on its own.
That's right.
And so it
was
came
injured.
here. And pretty much all those animals, that you see in there, they're calling home. That's the case for most of those animals.
Right.
So when you see the bear in there, it's not because the bear can't be in the wild anymore. So
they were part of a forest fire.
Forest fire. They were rescues from a forest fire.
Right.
Yeah. So that's where these animals are. So when people say stuff, because I hear it all the time, it's like, no, these animals, their life would have ended had it not been for human interaction.
And now they can't go back to the wild because they've been too socialized.
And then I'm going to even guess some cases, maybe some of them aren't healed to a point where they could survive on their own.
True.
They're healed to be alive, but they got a limp or they got you know what I mean?
And
if you put them in the wild,
one of them.
Yeah, if you put them in the wild, they're not going to be able to feed themselves or defend themselves or do anything else.
Right.
Like that. Yeah. So that's part of that reason too. So please understand that when you see the eagle and the bear and you wonder, we're just blessed to have it here with us. And so we want to keep that and support it. You're right. The bear pen needs work. It needs it desperately. It's not probably the best situation for a bear right now.
No.
But you know what? The bear's still there. The bear's need, and the bear can't survive on its own. The bear can't, so let's fix it. Let's get involved.
Right.
Make it so it can be a good sport.
And that's going to take us a little money and a little time, and we'll get a good bear enclosure.
So rather than sit there and complain and tell everybody it's wrong, get off your butt, be a part of the friends.
That's right.
And see what you can do to actively fix it.
That's right.
Do it that way. If you want to sit out there and protest or yell on Facebook, God bless you. You're allowed to, but you ain't doing anything. You're not doing a thing. You want to do something? Go be a friend.
Yeah, don't be negative. Be positive and get out there.
Otherwise, we just call you, I don't know, Chicken Little type.
There you go.
Crying wolf for no reason.
There you go.
What's probably the best way to kind of get involved right now, to reach out? Is it go through online or call?
Right now, you need to talk to either myself or to Carrie Moore.
Okay. Carrie's another one that wears many hats.
Yes, she does. She works for the county now. County Health, is that it?
Okay. She also runs Health Council, Chaves County Health Council.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
that's
she runs the Chaves County Health Council.
Chaves County Health Council. So,
but she also does 20 other things too.
Yes, she does. She's always involved.
Yeah.
We have people in this town. Carrie is one of them. Geneva Martinez is another one. We just
there's a dozen more like her.
Yeah, and
Amy,
Rosalind.
Jocelyn. Yeah,
Jocelyn.
Yeah.
Is another one.
She's always doing the food not bomb
always in
stuff.
something. Yeah.
Odds are you'll see Jocelyn in downtown passing out food almost on every given day. Not quite, but just about. So yeah.
And we have people in Roswell like that.
Mm-hmm.
So all we want to do is help Roswell and improve things here in Roswell.
We sure could use more people to get involved.
That's right.
You don't have to get to the levels of Don or Carrie, but just pick one thing. Pick your thing and get involved with it.
There you go. And that volunteer.
Yeah.
It's life rewarding.
Yeah. And if the zoo's not your thing, there's plenty of other great places where you get involved too. Don can point them out. He's involved in half of them.
Yeah. And if I can't, I'll get a hold of Carrie or Geneva or someone.
But if you have a special love for the animals and things like this and what the zoo does, then I invite you. Now is the perfect time for you to get involved and to be a part of the friends. And let's get this back to get it back to the memories and stuff that you had when you were there as a child or with your families and or you're having your kids out there playing in the playgrounds or riding on the merry-go-round or checking out the animals. You want that back.
Yes, we do. And that's what we're looking for.
Get involved.
Human help, we give that as much as we can. We need to help the animals. We need to keep all of this going.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she's going to hate me for this, but I'm going to give you Carrie's number also.
You can also go dial 211. That'll get her too, or get her near her.
There you go. That's right. Yeah. Call
the health council number.
Call 211 and ask for Carrie Moore.
Yeah.
But she's a 575. Oh my God. 575 755 3663.
Okay.
That's weird. I never really looked at her number before. 575 755 3663. Or you can call me.
Yes.
My number's always open too, 575-495-3663. 3325.
Yeah. And if worst comes to worst, call me here at the station. I can get you in touch with Don.
There you go. Yeah.
If you don't remember any of those numbers. But I think there is there a Friends of the Zoo Facebook page that's active, or is it pretty inactive at this point?
There is a Facebook page. Carrie has been doing some on it.
Okay,
but
so
not
imagine
much.
if you shoot a message to that, someone will see it and maybe get in touch with you too. So if you shoot a message, say, hey, I heard on the radio, I'd like to be more about being a friend. Someone will see it and can reach out to you.
Yeah, we will work on that.
And then, of course, worst comes to worst, go on down to the zoo, put your name and number in with the staff there, and they'll get you in touch with
someone.
Yeah. If you go down there and say, hey, I heard them on the radio, I want to be more about friends. I know you're not the friend, but do you have the number for that, or put me in? And they'll say, yeah, well, I'll take your information. I'll give it to Don or give it to Carrie or whatever, and we'll get it going. So.
I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this, but I think the zoo still has a volunteer program.
Oh, great!
Where you don't have to be a friend, but you can be a volunteer. Kind of like
that.
Bitter Lake does.
Mm-hmm.
You can be a volunteer, or you can be a friend of Bitter Lake.
They're like busy, like when they do like the school programs during the summer and all that.
Right.
Those volunteers are very
They come
involved
in and
that.
help out. Yeah.
Which I don't know that I don't think this summer they're going to be able to do a lot of that stuff, right? With the zoo stuff?
We're looking towards doing a summer program.
Oh, good.
But that's
like I said,
in
it's
the
still
works.
it's still
It's up in
everything's
the
a
air.
crapshoot right now because
Right.
we got so much we got to get done. The zoo is just not ready for primetime players yet.
No,
we
it
just need
isn't.
more
Yeah,
stuff.
it's going to take a little bit.
Yeah.
And again, that's part of the reason why we want to get our Friends group back up and working so that we can start working with the zoo to do the things we can do around the zoo.
Absolutely.
Because of certain regulations and city
Ordinances
requirements,
and
or we can't do everything. But I'm sure we can work out
Imagine
some
it's
things.
insurance and lawsuit purposes.
That's the
and all
biggest thing. Yep. Yeah.
Whenever the lawyers get involved, it
It
sometimes
can be
takes
tough.
the fun out.
You got it. You got it. So,
but please, if you're interested, please reach out. We desperately need bodies and people to be involved with the Friends. If you want to see this zoo back to thriving and even better than before, then it takes we the community to get involved.
Right.
And if you don't, if we don't, then without the Friends, there's going to be no zoo. That's just
that's
plain
the way it
true.
is. Yeah, it's eventually going to lose.
Yeah, and so it will decline before it, gets better if we don't do
That's right.
something about it. So get involved. This is it. Don't wait on other people. Do it now. And as I say, if the zoo's not your thing, then pick something else. Maybe it's character counts. Maybe it's a sports team. You can coach a sports team. Maybe it's working at the hospital as a volunteer. But pick your passions and go get involved.
That's right.
But I'd say if you do love animals and things, the zoo's got a lot of places for you to come in and join us here. So.
And we would love to have you help us.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is, and it's fun. I mean, we talk about it, but it's actually quite fun. The people that go out there and they meet them, usually the friends, when they're done for the day, they're laughing, they're tired because they're usually busy, but I mean, they had a great day and just got the cool experiences, meeting cool people, and just, it's a lot of fun out there. It really is. And then the animals are animals.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do things that you're just like, there's a reason why there's a million cat videos and animal videos
That's
online.
right.
Of doing. Now you get to see it at the zoo happening.
Go see it at the zoo. Yeah.
And those animals have personalities. You don't always get to see them as a spectator walking through in 5 minutes, but if you're hanging around the zoo long enough, you learn the personalities of the animals and you find their quirks and their it's just like you owning a pet. Your dog or cat. They do weird things that no other dog and cat. These animals are the exact same way. You just
That's
don't.
right.
You don't get to see them because you don't necessarily hang out with them on a daily basis. And as a friend, you won't be daily, but you're going to see a lot more of these animals than you
That's
normally
right.
would. So
Yeah. And of course, the zoo is open. You can go visit.
yeah, come visit.
Yep. It's free. It's back to free.
Yeah, it's free and come and see the animals, but it needs help. We need a lot of work out
That's
there.
right.
And for it to happen, it's going to be you, me, and the public. It ain't going to be the city coming to save the day or some government entity from somewhere else coming swooping in to save the day. It's going to be you, me, and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. To get that
That's
thing
right.
back, to get that.
And it's private money, not public money.
Yeah.
So,
but there's also a change. There is also an upside to that. With private funding and private things, you can do what you want with it.
Pretty much.
You can
That's
say,
right.
it's our money. We're going to make, if I want to build a slide for the penguins, then I'm building a slide. You know what I mean? There's there's no your thing. You do what you want with it, and by default, the people get to decide and say, hey, you know what? Let's upgrade that. Hey, we got and to be honest, I hope it whatever evolution the zoo does, and over the years, I hope it continues to be that rescue place for
it would
the
be
animals.
nice. Yeah, because that's we've got the zoos that are geared towards exotic animals and stuff. Alamogordo, Clovis. They have a lot of.
This is more refuge like.
So this
kind of like the biopark in Albuquerque. It's more about studying the animals and things like that. This is kind of what we're trying to envision for the.
This would be
zoo
a
here.
much bigger, better place that way.
Where if you ever go, which by the way, I highly recommend if you've never been to the Albuquerque Biopark, it's pretty good. Yeah. It's not the San Diego Zoo, but it's pretty good. Or the National Zoo,
does all right.
It's pretty good.
Yes.
It does all right.
Yeah.
And but it's much more like if you talk, it's much more about the environments, the ecological side of it. And yes, we get to go there and watch the monkeys and lions and everything, but they're studying them there. They're actually trying to understand them better, creating the better environment. So it's more than just, ooh, look at the monkeys. They're doing stuff. They're raising these animals, but they're also studying them, learning the patterns, learning the habits, learning, why they do what they do. And
that's right.
That's what the biopark does.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyway, we'd like to get the Roswell Zoo more like that, where yes, these are rescue animals, but at the same time, we want to provide them good environments and study and say, hey, why do the seagulls flock the way they do, or whatever it is? Why do the flamingos do what they do this way?
Yeah.
And so that's part of what this will be. So become a friend. Be more active in that. See what you can do to put your stamp on this zoo. And
there you go.
This is what it's about. So, Don, is there anything we missed? Anything we wanted to cover?
I don't think so.
And, of course, if you'd like to learn more about Veterans Transport, Friends of Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge, Alzheimer's Association, or American Legion, give Don a call. He can help you out with any of those and a few more I'm missing, I'm sure, too.
I'm trying to cut down.
Cut down to 7 or 8 organizations.
Yeah.
But yes. And, by the way, on all those, you were talking about getting involved earlier. Maybe animals aren't your thing. Maybe if you've got some time in your hands and drive some veterans, that's a big need right now. They've got vehicles. They've actually got some nice vehicles ready to roll. We need more drivers to drive these vehicles to all over the area.
That's right.
So if you got a day a week, a couple days a week, a couple days a month, whatever it is, you can volunteer. And if you live in Artesia or Carlsbad or anywhere around here, they can use you. They will put you in a pool because sometimes they're taking veterans from Carlsbad and bringing them up here or bringing them somewhere else. And so they'll use people that live in that area to do that and vice versa. But if you live here, there's a big need on that too, getting them there. So the Veterans Transport is a great program. It gets some great financial support for the vehicles and everything, but what they really need right now is
drivers. We need people there.
Boots on the ground that are driving these veterans to and from their appointments and things like that. Don does it every week, and you love it because you get to talk with these folks. Like you're looking for a little social game.
My fellow vets,
and you can learn a lot from vets. So if you're not even a vet, maybe you're not a vet, maybe you're a young person that maybe you got a little time on your hands, you got to college or something, you got a few hours a week. You know how much wisdom you're going to be driving around with? Listen to a veteran talk if they're willing.
Yeah.
Usually those men and women have a lot of experience under their belt, and they are willing to share it to the right people. And usually those veteran transports tend to be good places to do some of those talking.
And they have some very funny stories as well. Yeah. Some sad, but they do have some very funny stories.
Put it this way, you will get a lot out of being a driver for them.
Veterans Transport, you can call 575-622-0729.
Very good.
Monday through Thursday, 9 to 3.
Yes. Leave a voicemail if you don't get a live person. They do have office hours.
Tell them
there.
what you would like.
Well, a lot of it's volunteer stuff and things like that. So people aren't sitting there 24/7 doing this kind of thing. It's really volunteers, a lot of it. So.
What was this?
But the county, I know Criminal Auto Group, all these, there's some great, entities that have really stepped up supporting the veterans transport, at least getting the vehicles and that kind of thing taken care of.
We got a lot out of that.
We just need the bodies. We need the people that can drive these vets to and from their appointments. So please, that's another great way to get involved if you want. It may be the animals and zoo aren't your thing. Veterans Transport might be. So either way, you're doing
if you're a veteran that needs help getting somewhere,
reach out.
Give us a call.
We'll get you
number.
Get you in the rotation.
Yep.
One more time. Do that number, Don.
575 622, and I lost it. Hang on a second here. I can get it again.
See, smartphones are great until they're not.
Yeah, until you got to find something.
Until you got to look for something. Yeah.
575-622-0729.
Very good. Call that number for anything veteran transport related, whether you need the services or like to volunteer to be a part of it.
Yeah, either way. Either way.
Good deal.
So.
And, well, Don, as always, appreciate the visit. Thank you for doing what you do with all the things you do, and keep do your thing.
I will. As long as they'll let me keep walking.
Yeah. Oh, I did hear tell you got another big trip coming up, too. Another overseas adventure coming?
Yeah, nice. I'm going to Greece in June.
Very cool. This is a more...
this is relaxation.
I was about to say, this is a more... industrialized trip like usually you're going to places like India and Africa. Places are a little more remote.
Yeah,
where Greece is a little more urbanized here.
Yeah, this is a sailing ship.
Oh, okay, so it's a cruise.
It's a 3-masted schooner.
Nice.
And it's a cruise through the Greek Isles.
Oh, cool.
We're going to go up in and out.
Nice. So you're going to go all up through the Mediterranean there? And
yeah.
Now you're going to like land in Greece and go to see some of like...
We'll stop at different places. This is a National Geographic
oh, cool.
Adventure.
Oh, so this is more than just like a carnival cruise kind of
right.
thing.
Right. There will be...
there's probably some science behind this.
Yeah, there'll be some science people on board.
So it's not all about going to the tourist ports and doing all that.
No, not necessarily. They're
cool.
going to talk about those ports. They'll talk about the history. They'll talk about the biology of the areas, the different islands and so on.
Nice. That's more educational for you.
Yeah, right.
Coming and learning the sea life and
more,
life.
More about what's going on around the area.
Cool.
It's not just okay, let's go have a drink and
But they do serve like good food and drinks on the boat.
God,
They still wine and dine you on the boat, right?
Oh God, do they? Yeah, I've been on national. I was supposed to take a trip from Sweden to Alaska across the northern boundaries of Russia.
Oh, wow.
Through the Arctic Ocean.
Yeah, you might want to bring a coat for that one.
Yeah, well, that was originally the plan, and that
would be awesome.
That was going to be a 30-day trip.
Woo!
However, the time that it was going is when, first of all, COVID, second of all, Ukraine, all of that started about that time.
Right, and that's not the best time to be on a cruise in
they
the
canceled
Arctic.
The whole thing. We're not going. We're not going to even try it.
Well, maybe they'll try it again down the road here.
Yeah, maybe.
That's because that does sound like a bucket list type thing.
Yeah,
I'd want to totally do that.
So I've broken that down into other trips.
Nice.
What I had already paid for it. So
nice. Well, we'll expect the full report when you get back in the.
There you go.
That'll be in the summer here.
Yeah, I'll tell you about all the Greek Isles and see if I can find a Minotaur.
There you go. He's going to keep coming back, and the only thing he's going to say, it's all Greek to me.
Yeah, it's all Greek to me. I don't know. It's all Greek to me.
Thank you, Don. We'll see you next time.
Okay, Mike. Thank you.
It is 8:52. Let's pause for news and break to pay for some lunch. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Thanks for joining us. Our top story, Roswell police are part of this weekend's National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. RPD partnering with Walgreens to host the event at the company's South Roswell store on Saturday. The store at 1200 South Main Street in Roswell. RPD officers will be there from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, and you can drop off any unwanted or unused prescription medicines. The service is free. You can always remain anonymous. Also this year, vape devices will be accepted as long as the batteries have been removed. Liquid products must be in their original container. Make sure the cap is tightly secured. Also, take note, syringes, sharps, aerosols, and inhalers and illicit drugs will not be accepted. Also on Saturday, there is a free pop-up food distribution event scheduled in Artesia at the Bulldog Bowl. The event begins at 10. Anyone seeking food assistance can go. No registration needed. Make sure your car trunk, truck bed, or back seat is clear. Just follow all the directional signs. The format for this food distribution will be drive-through. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Want to see some good baseball today? Should be good. NMMI hosting East Mountain in a doubleheader. It starts at 4 o'clock. The Colts are 14-6 overall, 7-1 in district play. East Mountain has not lost a game district play, and they edged NMMI earlier in the month 3-2. Dexter playing at Melrose today at 3 o'clock. Gateway Christian's got a pair lined up against Floyd on Friday at 2 o'clock. And this is interesting. If this is going to happen, the schedule says it is. Dexter softball 19-1 playing at Albuquerque High. Albuquerque High, Friday afternoon at 3:30. Dexter beat Sandia Prep Monday 15-0. That was the Demons' 5th straight shutout victory. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
Well, stocks rose for the second day in a row, not as much as on Tuesday, but the Dow rose 400 points, 1%. The S&P rose 1.5%. The Nasdaq rose 2.5%. Few expected this week's changes in stocks or on tariff outlooks. Some say President Trump is walking back his tariffs because very high tariffs would cause American companies to lose a lot of sales too. Treasury Secretary Bessent says there could be a big deal with China. The tariffs could still be high, just not as high. The Wall Street Journal says tariffs with China could come out at 65 or maybe 50%, not 145%. Leading gainers yesterday included GE Healthcare, Dell Technologies, and Tesla, now that Elon Musk will start spending more time running Tesla again and less time overseeing Doge. After the bell, IBM reported better than expected sales. The Federal Reserve says many businesses are already passing the cost of tariffs on to customers. Consumer spending rose unusually high last month because of people stocking up. A Target store in New York was unusually empty this week, and a sales clerk says Target's been cutting their hours because sales have been so slow. With business, I'm Joe Connolly.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, could be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to carsforkids.org today.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
When managing a chronic illness, access to the right treatments makes all the difference. Artesia General Hospital's Infusion Center provides IV therapy and biologic treatments, so you don't have to travel far for care. Expert infusion therapy right here in Artesia. Call 575-736-8256 today to learn more.
Step back in time at the Lincoln Forest Renaissance Fair, May 16th through 18th at Wingfield Park in Ruidoso. Join us for 3 magical days of pirates, knights, fairies, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss our Saturday night headliners, Celtic rock legends, the Young Dubliners, lighting up the stage on May 17th at 7 p.m. Get tickets and details now at LincolnForestRenFair.com.
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? Great selection, great savings, and great people. Roswell Hyundai has an amazing selection of makes, models, and model years to choose from. If you can't find it, Roswell Hyundai can get it. And Roswell Hyundai will take any trade. The experts at Roswell Hyundai will work with you to get you behind the wheel of your next dream ride. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do! Come check out the Used Car Supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Alaska is the only state name that can be typed on one row of keys. Go ahead and try typing the other 49 states. We'll wait. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:58. We got about a minute or so here before Town Hall News. Stay tuned next hour here about 9:15 or so. Crystal Noble will join us with the Roswell Humane Society. Give us an update on pets and thrift store and all that good stuff going on over there. I know, they, with between animal services and then they're dealing with, they've been dealing with the distemper and some of that stuff. I think Humane Society's been okay for the while, but I'm not even sure. I know Animal Services will still having issues. We'll get the update. Usually, Crystal's kind of on top of all that kind of stuff because they're actually right next door. And I always tell people, if you're going to adopt a pet, rescue, hit both those places. If there's nothing in the Humane Society that strikes your fancy, walk right next door to Animal Services and see those pets because either way, you're rescuing a pet. Those are, if you get one from animal control, you're rescuing them because they euthanize. Obviously, the Humane Society doesn't. But, if you take from the Humane Society, it frees up a cage. They'll go and pull one of the at-risk animals from next door. So you're rescuing either way. It's good stuff. So anyway, that's up next hour. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back on the other side of news.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The government is out with some stable economic numbers today.
According to the Labor Department, U.S. applications for jobless benefits were up modestly last week to 222,000, 2,000 more than forecasted. At the same time, the total number of Americans receiving unemployment benefits for the week of April 12th fell by 37,000 to 1.84 million. March's reading for the purchases of durable goods rose 9.2% to a total of $26.6 billion, as reported by the Census Bureau. George Williams, Washington.
Ukraine calls Russia the real obstacle to peace after an overnight attack on Kiev. It killed at least 9 people and injured more than 70 others. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says President Trump is frustrated that Ukrainian President Zelensky refuses to even consider ceding Crimea to Russia as part of a potential peace deal.
The president is not asking Ukraine to recognize Crimea. Nobody has asked them to do that. What he is asking is for people to come to the negotiating table recognizing that this has been a brutal war for far too long. And in order to make a good deal, both sides have to walk away a little bit unhappy.
And Vice President Vance says the Ukraine negotiations have reached a crucial turning point. Authorities say a man set wooden pallets on fire and then failed to properly put them out in New Jersey's Pine Barrens, sparking a quick-moving wildfire with smoke affecting the air quality in the New York City area and beyond. 19-year-old Waretown man is facing aggravated arson and arson charges in the southern New Jersey wildfire, which is still burning. It's already charred 15,000 acres. Stocks are higher on Wall Street. The Dow is up about 75 points, while the NASDAQ Composite Index trading 228 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call Low Cost Airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals, too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Palestinian President Abbas is urging Hamas to surrender its arms. We get the latest on that from the Media Line's Felice Friedson.
Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas was the center of attention on Wednesday after admonishing Hamas terrorists to release the remaining hostages held since it invaded Israeli border communities on October 7, 2023. The octogenarian head of the Palestinian Authority exhorted Hamas to lay down its weapons, turn over control of the Gaza Strip to the Palestinian Authority, and become part of the political landscape of a new entity many expect will rise from the ashes of the devastated enclave. In Jordan, the powerful Muslim Brotherhood was banned and any media mention of the organization forbidden. Critics are asking why it took Abbas 18 months, while some suggest influence from Washington. I'm Felice Friedson, Town Hall News, Jerusalem.
News and analysis at themedialine.org and townhall.com. Well, this may explain some Oscar wins.
If you ever wondered how a questionable film won an Oscar, this may be the reason. Members of the Academy were not required to watch the films. Oscar voters are now required to actually watch the movies they are voting on. The Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts, and Sciences made the announcement Monday, along with other updates. Up until now, actually seeing the nominated film was only required for voting in certain Oscar categories, like Best Documentary and Best International Film. Tasha Stevens reporting.
China has been investing heavily in its space program in recent years, and it seems to be paying off. China has launched 3 astronauts on a mission to replace the crew that's currently on board China's space station. The launch comes as China's plans for a manned mission to the moon advance. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number
3 inviernos.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday.
Ah, yes.
It is my Friday. Programming note, Sean Smalls.
I mean, yeah, you don't have to keep saying it.
Oh, I'm
rubbing
going to.
it in is what you're doing.
Sorry. I'm happy.
Yeah, I know. I'm happy for you. Mike just got himself a nice big bag of chocolate peanut butter eggs to
I got
enjoy
a big bag of, look,
on his birthday
the
as well.
Caps are up 2-0 in their series. I got a big bag of peanut M&Ms and all for work tomorrow. Life is good. Not peanut M&Ms. Reese's
mini eggs.
Life is good right now.
Life is looking. It's looking up. I gotta give it to you.
And my Commanders are good.
Nice.
I got nothing to complain about at the moment. I mean, I do, but it ain't worth it.
See, it's like Brian, I guess, says at the end of Life of Brian.
Yeah.
As he sings whilst hanging there, keep on the bright side of life.
That is the most. Yes, the Life of Brian. If y'all have never seen that, spoiler. It kind of follows the life of Christ loosely. Obviously, it's Monty Python. I mean, come on now. But yes, that scene, and I think it ticked people off when it came out.
Oh, absolutely!
Originally.
It
was basically a scene where they're all
people.
on the crucified.
Yeah.
And they're singing, always look on the bright side of life. What?
Always look on the
It's Monty
bright
Python, man.
side of life.
I mean, the Holy Grail gets usually the most shine.
Yeah.
But Life of Brian, you can't sleep on Life of Brian.
Life of Brian and Meaning of Life, I think, are the two of my
the whole
favorites.
biggest Blinkus is from Life of
Yeah.
Brian.
Yep.
the Roman names. And everyone's giggling after the names, and I can't do them on the radio.
Of course
'cause
not. No.
But
the
that's
genius
Life
of
of
it.
Brian. That's not Holy Grail. And I would even throw another one out there. It's the and this is more like the medley hodgepodge.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't know any Monty Python, this is a good thing to just kind of get you. It's the one for and now for something completely different.
Ah, yeah.
And it's basically like a
A
2-hour
clip show
hodgepodge of all their clips
from their
and
show,
everything.
yeah.
And it's got everything from the lumberjack song to the
dead parrot,
the Lazy Man Olympics. There's like a whole bunch of them. I think the wafer thin one's in there too. where the guy blows up.
The original Creosote Man?
Yeah, I think that's.
See, I thought that was originally from Meaning of Life, but maybe they redid
I think
that
they
from Meaning of Life.
repackaged it in there,
Okay,
maybe. Like the Lumberjack song, that was all repackaged from the TV show and all that.
Right.
Because if you ever watched, obviously in Britain they showed it, but they used to show it here in America. They had a TV show that led to the movies. Like the Lumberjack song, I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay.
The little things in that Creosote scene are the things that make me laugh. Like they bring out somebody to take the old vomit bucket and put the new one in.
Yeah.
And while she's there cleaning, he just throws up on her back. It's hilarious.
It is.
It's just
it's disgustingly funny,
it's
though.
disgusting. It's awful.
Well,
but
it's Monty
hilarious.
Python. I mean, I don't care. Those guys were so funny back then. And to be honest, they cheapened it when some of the cast made appearances in European Vacation.
Yeah, well,
I thought that was too lowbrow for that.
When
I'd like, nah, you aren't. Don't get me wrong, I love the vacation movies, but Chevy Chase ain't in the same category as Monty Python.
No, that's
not to me.
Right. And in fairness, I don't necessarily think they were even paying homage to the Monty Python thing. I think it's just Eric Idle's never going to be able to escape that.
Well, Cleese was in it too. There was more than just Eric Idle.
But
yeah.
and that's the thing. I think of the cast of Monty Python, I think that Cleese was the one who actually got the most rub off.
Sure. But I want to say at least two. I want to say there might have been a third Python member in European Vacation in a cameo bit too. I mean, Cleese and what's his name got, because one kept getting into bike accidents and everything every time he could. Have you seen European Vacation? Is that the one you said you hadn't seen?
European, I've seen.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I've
thought
seen.
there was one
I
you
actually,
said.
you know what's funny is I actually rewatched it recently because there were large parts of it I didn't remember, and so I rewatched it recently. So I've actually seen it pretty recently.
I'm going to tell you right now, the reason that movie stands out most to me because I was a teenage boy at a certain time when that movie came out.
Yep.
And there is a scene when they're in Germany where Rusty gets to meet one of the barmaids, and we get to see the barmaid.
He meets all of the barmaids.
And I liked it. It's like, let's watch this European. No, let's watch that one scene. I don't need to see him get in a fight with the German beer stein guys again. I just want to see the scene where Rusty goes meets the girl.
So what's really funny is formatting used to tell on you. Because when I was a kid, if you've ever lived with VHS cassettes, you know that when you pause a cassette, it sits there and holds that cassette at attention.
Right.
And it
Where all
holds
those
it
lines
for
come from.
as long as you need it to hold it there. But it also will show when you're watching the movie the next time, because that one spot will go brrr.
You wore out the tape.
And so there was a spot in the movie Tommy Boy that it was specifically the swimming pool scene.
Yeah.
That scene, the entire scene is in tracking mode essentially, because I would go through that scene frame by frame.
If I remember right, there's a scene about, what are you playing for the Yankees in there?
Yeah.
If I remember right, so that's the scene.
Well, you're watching Spectravision. Yeah, it was that scene.
Yeah, that's the scene. I know. But for me and European, it's that scene where he meets the barmaid.
That makes sense.
You get to see the barmaid, and I was a happy boy.
And now, the man you see today.
I ain't gonna lie, I still love that scene. I'm like, ooh, the scene. And I get mad if it's on TNT because they always edit that scene out, obviously.
Well, you could also make the argument that the end scene of The Meaning of Life is essentially the same thing.
Yeah. And I would also say some of my favorite Clark lines are from European Vacation. Like the ones, and I've said it 100 times on this show, but I'm going to say it one more time because it's that good.
Because it's almost my birthday.
It's the scene where they're flying to Europe, and they're in the plane, and they're going to Europe, and then the stewardess goes up to Clark and says, "What would you like to drink, sir?" And he says, "I'll have a Coke." And she looks at him and says, "Do you want that in the can?" And he looks back at the bathroom and says, "No, I'll have that right here."
No, I'll have that here.
And that line gets me every single time.
It's great. It's just perfect timing.
And the other line that makes me laugh every single time is the scene where him and Russ are having a father-son moment on the Eiffel Tower. And they're talking and they're looking, and Clark's looking at out there with Russ. He's like, "Isn't this such an inspiring view? It just makes you want to do so much stuff. Like, I sit here and I look and I see this and I'm like, I want to write, I want to paint, I want to sculpt something with my hands. I just want to, I'm so, Russ, where's the bathroom?" And he's literally goes through all his inspiration, stops and just has to go to the bathroom. Makes me laugh every time. He gets all motivated. "Russ, where's the bathroom?" because of that European Vacation
That
and
makes sense.
And the breast scene makes me happy.
It also is a point of your life that you see the movie, because like you saw European Vacation kind of in the height of your like cinematic enjoyment days. Same thing with me in Vegas Vacation. To this day, I can quote every line, if not almost every line from that movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
I could quote a few myself because I like that one too.
Yeah.
By and large, I like all the vacation movies. I like Christmas, the original, even the new reboot. I like them all.
It was kind of a shock to my system when you see because I grew up loving Chevy Chase from those movies.
Yeah.
So to see the fall from grace when he started on Community and just how bizarre he is now.
Yeah.
It's very. And then you start hearing some of the stories coming out about what who
did
he was
you watch
backstage.
a lot of Chevy's other movies that weren't vacation movies?
Honestly, no.
Like Fletches.
I didn't watch.
The Fletches were his high watermark.
Not till I was an adult did I watch Funny Farm, Fletch, a lot of those.
Funny Farm was kind of a snoozer.
I mean, Funny Farm does have one.
I liked it, but by and large, it was
the
not
the Rocky
accepted.
Mountain oyster scene still to this day is one of my favorite scenes.
By and large, it was not accepted by everybody else. I liked the movie; it was entertaining. To me, the original Fletch, and then Fletch Lives good too, but the original Fletch is better. Are equally up there with the Vacation.
Yeah, my path with him was Vegas Vacation, and then the pretty much straight jump to Snow Day, where he was playing the dad of the main character.
This is where after Fletch, that's when things started going off the rails. Because then, remember the Invisible Man? Remember that one?
See, I never saw that one.
That was a stinker bad too. That he did, the Invisible Man, and he was trying to play a more serious role in that one, and it's panned as awful.
Has anybody ever been able to pull off Invisible Man well? Because think about it, the other one is Kevin Bacon in whatever that movie, Hollow Man.
Yeah,
Hollow
like that,
Man.
Yeah,
and that movie is awful and very much doesn't hold up by today's standards.
But you know what? I would say Hollow Man's still better than the Invisible Man.
Oh, probably. I can only imagine.
That movie was just God, and and then of course he had his TV, his late night talk show stint that failed miserably too. So and that was all right around that time. But I think Funny Farm was one of those movies that, if you like Chase, but most people weren't a fan of that movie. It didn't pan well in the box office.
There was a weird time for legendary comics, like the late 90s, early 2000s, we'll call it, where movies started coming out just to be made. The Man Who Knew Too Little with Steve Martin, or I'm sorry, The Man Who Knew Too Little, Steve Martin. The other one that came to Pluto Nash was around that time.
I think Eddie Murphy still to this day catches crap for Pluto Nash.
Sure,
because I think that was somewhere in, I don't know if it's Rotten Tomatoes or whatever. They list that as the worst movie of all time.
Right,
Pluto Nash.
Now the one of those that weirdly holds up and my generation has latched onto is Galaxy Quest.
Well, see, that's got a cult following.
Yeah.
To me, Galaxy Quest is a lighter version of Rocky Horror Picture Show. And what I mean by that is not because the movies are similar.
Because of the cult following.
But because the way people embrace that movie. There's still to this day, I think, cons and stuff just for Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
There's people that literally dress up like Tim Allen and Alan Rickman and Sigourney Weaver and do all that stuff,
Yeah, it's one of those that has just it's stood the test of time. It's held up.
Because it's a good movie.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, I mean, it's a spoof and what it is, and basically the Star Trek cast gets put into real Star Trek. That's basically what the movie is. It's genius, and it's well written, and to be honest, it's got good actors. Tim Allen is an amazing captain. Alan Rickman, he's a treasure.
He's Alan Rickman.
He's treasure.
Right.
And Sigourney Weaver's a great actress too.
Sure.
I mean, you just had and then what's his name? Monk was in it too.
Oh yeah, Tony Shalhoub. Yep,
Tony Shalhoub was in it too. Another great actor.
And that's what it comes down to is if an actor can, when you're doing a spoof, if you can act in a spoof movie as seriously and take things as seriously as possible, that's what makes the spoof work.
Yeah, it's a well done movie.
If you go in acting silly, that's not a spoof. That's just the joke.
Yeah. No, and that's the difference between Pluto Nash
and Galaxy Quest.
And I would even argue that's not even Eddie's worst movie.
No, it is not.
That one where he's the spaceship and he's got the alien in his head.
That movie's bad. That's Dave. Dave, I think is what it is.
Dave, that's it. Yeah.
The worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life is Norbit.
Oh yeah, Norbit's bad too.
That movie is terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie. You know what that movie reminds me of? That's like a movie within a movie. You know how in Tropic Thunder they made Simple Jack? And much like in Simple Jack, the problem with the main character in Norbit is he leaned into it too much.
And we got to get the hour going here. But since you said Simple Jack, I got to say this. Thanks to this Snow White movie, I have seen more Simple Jack and Carl for Sling Blade than I've ever seen in my whole life.
The Sling Blade one? Water came out of my eyes watching that one. It was so funny.
If you haven't
Have you seen
this,
it?
The actress that plays Snow White, I don't remember her name, and of course there's a kerfuffle. Well, there's a scene from the movie that they redubbed, and it's been done with Carl from the scene from where he like
the
a French fried tater scene?
Yeah. With mustard.
That one?
And it's they put it over her face, but her jaw juts out just enough that makes it work.
Yeah.
She's like, "What else you got inside there?"
French fried tater.
It's as a kid say, it's cinema.
And then the other one is the scene from Tropic Thunder with Simple Jack saying, moo, 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 and so she does that from that scene.
Oh, you never.
Yeah, if you get bored, it's usually I see it more on X than I see on Facebook.
I'm gonna find it later in the clip.
He'll send it to you. So Crystal's going to join us officially here in just a minute. Let's do this. Let's pause for weather and a commercial break. He'll show her the video, and then we'll come back and talk about the Humane Society. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Not as windy today. It will be a little bit breezy, though. Some clouds early and then sunshine in the afternoon. Will be up around the 90-degree mark. For the overnight hours, clear, 50 to 55 on the low, and then sunny on Friday. Will be in the upper 80s. We do have a system moving in Friday night and Saturday. Could get a few showers from that. Then we're back to sunshine Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans and options to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With Faster, get true 500 megs of download and upload speeds. And with Fastest, you get 1 gig. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
Usually when you hear the comment that someone is aging gracefully, they're speaking about a person's physical appearance. Although that is a nice compliment, I'd rather age gracefully in my spiritual life. I want to come to the end of my life and know that even though I wasn't perfect, I'm confident that God's saving grace covers me and I'm ready to go to heaven with Him. Because of that saving grace, I want to have lived my life serving Him and serving others to the best of my ability. We all have physical and mental challenges as we age, but that doesn't stop us from serving Him or serving others. It may change how we serve, but it doesn't stop us from serving. We don't retire from our Christian life. It's never too late to start living the life God calls you to. It's never too late to accept the saving grace that God offers to all. No matter your age, no matter your abilities, come join us as we learn how to better know Jesus and make Jesus known.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Hi, Chef Anthony Noble here with the Valley Cafe at 801 West Brasher. We love serving you our delicious meals for lunch and dinner. The next time you're in on Monday or Tuesday, bring the family and take advantage of our kids' dinner special. With the purchase of an adult meal, you get a kids' meal for 20% off. That's right. Get the kids fed, save a little money, enjoy what I got cooking in the kitchen. Come visit us at 801 West Brasher in the Orange Building across from Church on the Move in Roswell. We have it all. Come taste and see.
Don't forget, you can also find the Valley Cafe on our website at toasttab.com/Valley Cafe. Also on DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats.
Step up to the plate and save at Roswell Honda. Now through the end of the month, the bases are loaded with savings, so you can score a home run and drive home a winner. Like 2.99% APR for 48 months on new Honda HRVs, 2.99% for 36 months on new Pilot, or 1.99% for 36 months on new Honda Ridgeline. Plus, major league savings across the lot on a huge selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Step up to the plate and drive it home. Now through the end of the month at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Playing dance music can help ward off mosquitoes. Now you have a reason to invite Pitbull to your next pool party. Here's Mike Winters.
Good morning. It is 24 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio now officially from the Roswell Humane Society, Crystal Noble back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's the shelter today? Everything is like I know Animal Service was still having some issues. Is everything cleared up as far as just tempers and all that kind of stuff? We're
clear on our side.
I know you guys have been clear, but I didn't know if Animal Services.
Sure.
Okay. Because they've been still having some issues over there, and I didn't know if they were starting to get a handle on it, not over there. But
I know they're open.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly
what their adoption status is.
Yeah.
Well, if you come by the Humane Society, I don't see anything that kind of strikes your head.
Check next door.
Walk right next door. And
literally, we share a parking lot.
Yep. And you're rescuing an animal regardless. You're getting a good home to a rescued animal. The big thing is the difference in, obviously, the Animal Services at some point will have to euthanize if need be. And so a lot of times, if you're freeing up cages over at the Humane Society, there's any on the short list, they'll go pull them. They'll say, hey, we'll adopt them over here, and then they get a stay of execution, literally, on this kind of thing. So either way, if you adopt for the Humane Society, you adopt from Animal Services, regardless, you're doing the right thing and providing a loving home for a pet. So
and Sammy with Fora is a big help for Animal Services as well. She pulls as much as she can and finds rescues outside of the state of New Mexico.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have some other groups that work with you guys that are kind of under the radar a little bit, that they're under the social game and they're kind of keeping an eye on the watch list so these things happen. So we have some great volunteers. The one thing I want to encourage you to do is keep doing that and stop buying from the puppy guys in the parking lots and things like that.
That is illegal.
It's illegal. It's also 9 times out of 10, you're going to get an unhealthy, unsafe dog that now, if you do see these things, report it. Call the police. If you're out this weekend at Walmart or Target or some parking lot somewhere and you catch one of these people in the back of a vehicle selling puppies out of it or something like that, call the police. Call the police because A, it's illegal, but B, it's a health and safety concern. This is why Roswell and many other communities now are having overpopulation issues, I think, because people aren't being responsible pet. If you're not getting your pet spayed and neutered, you are doing a disservice to the community by doing this.
And the chain ban is effective. It's
now full in effect.
It is now full in effect.
They will ding you. Code enforcement will ding you on these things.
And Roswell Animal Services.
Animal Services is the ones doing it. Okay, I didn't know if it's code enforcement or
so
the city will go after you on it.
Pretty much, yes. So if your animal is on a chain, they will give you X amount of time to remedy the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is not remedied, then they will be taking the animal.
Yeah. I think how it works is now if you are in the backyard with the animal on the chain, I think you're in compliance.
Yeah, like if you're mowing your yard and doing yard work and you have your animal tethered, then that is fine.
The moment you leave the yard and the dog is left alone on the chain, that's when you're not in compliance.
Right. So if, like, for any reason, like, you're outside, you're doing yard work, or you have repair people at the house and you can't have the dog inside the house, there's slight limitations to how long and all of that they can be on a chain or a tether. But you have to have a fully fenced-in yard or a suitable kennel that is within the size of the animal you have.
Yep. And this is the thing. It's we get it. Sometimes things, but this is ending the days of the people that just buy a dog or acquire a dog and then chain it up in the backyard and have no interaction with it. They'll throw some food out there or whatever once in a while, but they're not a part of the family. They literally just take up space in the backyard. And the only time anybody interacts with the animal is when someone happens to go in the backyard for something.
Right.
And then they wonder why the dog is crazy and usually sometimes vicious.
The majority of the time, the animals that live on a chain are not social. They're not friendly to others, and they are very vicious. And
absolutely.
It changes their demeanor in life, and that animal should have been a part of your family.
And for people that say they're so in touch and caring, I'm like, well, how do you not see this one? I mean, let me put you on that chain or put you in a room by yourself, no one to talk to you hours or days on end. Let me see how your mental health is. See how you're doing. And that's what you're doing to your dog. And so this is why it's illegal.
So
Now-
along with the new city ordinance, it is now required that you have the parvo distemper vaccinations, rabies vaccination, microchip, and spay or neutered. If your animal is not spay or neutered, rabies, microchipped, or parvo distemper with proof from a veterinarian, you will be cited until it is
rectified.
current. Like you
Yep.
bring it current to ordinances.
It's so please do that now. Like I'm always kind of with the microchip things. I always say if you have I have 2 cats. They're indoor cats. I'm not taking them until I go to the vet to get vet work done before I microchip them because, well, I got them before they did the microchipping, and quite frankly, they're cats. And unless you have to take them to the vet, you shouldn't take them to the vet because they don't like. They don't
No,
like
I had to
that
take a
kind of
cat
stuff.
this morning to the vet, and
Yeah.
she talked to me the whole way there.
So unless they need to go to the vet because something's going on, I generally don't take them. I'm not taking them there just to
Right,
just to
and
get-
they have the call spay neuter clinic that is coming,
Mhm.
and they do once a month, and I do believe that they are
Yeah.
offering microchips with the spay neuters.
But if you're a dog owner and you're letting your dog out and all that kind of stuff, I don't care. Get the microchip. Take the vet. Take them into the vet. Get that micro. And by all means, if they're not up to date on their rabies and distemper and parvo, I would even ones that aren't making you do it, make sure they're on some kind of heartworm meds if they're
Yep.
not anything, and some kind of flea and tick as well
Yep.
too. And
Because we have seen them all year.
Yeah.
Like it never went away, and we saw fleas throughout the winter months,
Mhm.
and then now we're starting to see ticks, a
Yeah.
lot of ticks. We have the park that's directly behind us, and they're coming out from the grass, and they're crawling up, and they're crawling on the outside runs trying to get to the dogs because that's their source of food.
absolutely.
So, if you're taking your dog to the parks, make sure that you've got flea and tick preventative, and you're checking them after you leave the park.
Well, it's just like you go to a think of COVID. Like when y'all went to like remember in COVID and they said don't go to the bar and the party and then everybody gets COVID. Dog parts like that for the dogs. If you're not getting your inoculations or making sure that they're on the right medicines, that's a cesspool for spreading that kind of stuff.
It really is. And then like if you take your dog for walks, and you walk at like one of the parks that has like a walking trail, and your dog's walking in the grass or whatever.
Mhm.
It doesn't take very long for a tick to latch on.
Sure.
So check your dogs after you leave the park. Check in between the pads, the toes, the armpits, the ear flaps and folds, because those are the favorite places
The
for them to
inner
go.
holes,
Yeah, they will try to go around the bum holes and the female's private parts.
Yeah, they get or ears. They love
Yeah.
the inside, especially if you have a dog with flappy ears. Oh man, they love to get up in them.
And one thing that a lot of people don't realize, like outside cats, they get livestock ticks in their ears.
Really?
So livestock ticks are not designated just like in the county; they're throughout everywhere.
Gotcha.
But
are they a tougher tick than like
so
a regular?
basically, they go in the ear canal,
Okay.
and then they
Set up shop.
yeah. So
Lay
basically,
eggs
they
and everything?
live inside the ear.
And they probably lay eggs and do all
They
kinds
do,
of.
and so
oh, yeah.
like there's more born, and then they just stay inside the ear canal.
You know, that reminds me. I'm going off topic just for a second, but it just freaked me out. I saw this video yesterday. Apparently, there's something that praying mantises, like if they drink the water, they can get this weird parasite in them.
A horseworm.
All I know is I saw this video where they stuck the butt of a praying mantis in a glass of water, and this black gnarly worm thing comes shooting out of
It's
it.
called a horseworm.
And it was as big as the praying mantis. And I'm like, how does that live inside of it like
Uh-huh.
that? And it freaked me out. I ain't gonna lie.
So it's weird because like we don't see those common in dogs.
yeah.
We have,
Okay.
but the majority of the times we're seeing them are in like insects.
Okay.
And so, it doesn't matter how much pesticide control we have. We are harbor number one for roaches because we have water, we have humidity, we have food, we have dogs that
If you
leave
notice, the
food.
more damper parts of town usually have a bigger roach problem.
So we
issue,
have,
yeah.
Bob Reed's come and they spray us once a month and they do all the fun stuff, but we still have roaches.
Sure.
And so one of the weirdest things that I've seen since being at the kennel is a roach had fallen into one of the dog's water bowls. And so before we were going to like clean it and change it and stuff,
Sure.
we noticed something and we're like, what is that? And so when we picked it up, it had
Parasites.
a horseworm. that big.
How does it do that? I guess
Because
it's just curled up.
It curls up.
But does the? I gotta imagine the bug notices that, right? I feel
Well,
like
yeah, but they can't really do anything
Sure.
about it.
They can't poop it out or whatever.
No,
I don't know. how
no,
that
because
works.
they attach on the
Yeah.
inside and they feed off of their blood and everything.
Ugh.
They are more common in like livestock.
Interesting.
But they do attack insects.
I saw that thing on the praying mantis. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, my God, this is diabolical.
I always hate when you're scrolling through videos and then you're like, I don't really
Like-
want to watch this, but I'm so intrigued I can't stop
I
watching
didn't have
it.
nightmares until I just watched this. Now it's something for me to worry about. Good Lord.
You wake up in the morning, you're like, do I have a horsehair worm?
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, put my water in butt, see what happens. Put that
Fill
butt in
the
water. Let's
bathtub up and you got a little hanging rack
just
hanging
dipping.
over.
Anything coming out? All right, we're good.
But those
Want to
are
go to the pool? Not with you.
yeah, you stay out of the pool.
Yeah.
There are a lot of parasites that travel through waters.
Yeah.
Giardia is one of them, and Giardia comes from bird feces.
Ugh.
So, or cloaca. So where do birds like to poop?
On your car.
Yeah, pretty much. You know,
Yeah.
you have like a water bowl outside for your
Yeah,
dogs. They're landing
absolutely.
on it.
Sidewalks,
they
places
poop
that-
in dog's water, and so your dogs are drinking
Not
that
to
water.
mention dogs just eat things weird, and they'll go
Yeah.
lick bird poop off a sidewalk. That's just what
They
dogs
will.
do.
They
you
do.
know?
They lick their own butt, so
Yeah.
if it smells like butt, they're gonna lick
So
it.
they're literally going right to the source for some of this.
They
stuff.
are.
So this is why you have these shots.
You've got
and
to
these and
change your
these
waters
medicines.
on your dogs every day. Rinse them out, clean
Sure.
the containers.
Not to mention if it's an outdoor space, mosquitoes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's anytime there's standing water, a puddle overnight can make a breed 1,000 mosquitoes. It doesn't take much. That's why they say flush those bowls, like bird baths and things. Flush those every day. I think especially during warmer months when mosquitoes are more.
We have a 40-gallon water trough for our horse
Mhm.
that it is now the time of the year to flush every day.
Every morning you got to go and flush that sucker. And it's really easy. Just put a hose in it and let it overflow for a minute or two. And that usually gets rid of the whatever. Because the eggs will sit on the surface. They're not going to be buried down the water. They'll
No,
be
they
sitting
float.
on the surface. So you're just basically rinsing off the eggs and let them fall on the ground and die.
Yes. Dry out and die.
Yeah.
But we have, we've noticed, you know, a lot of animals that are coming in have ticks, fleas. So if they're coming in as strays, you know, we know that.
And that's how a lot of these diseases do transfer. Flea, like Lyme disease and these tick fevers and all that. All from these, and they'll do damage to your pets. They'll kill them.
They can.
If go untreated or unchecked. They will eventually kill your pets.
It is the time of the year to start making sure your yard is
Yeah.
treated, your house is treated, your pets have the preventatives. Even though if you have indoor cats, but you have a dog that goes outside to use the restroom, they can still bring stuff inside to your cat, so your cat needs them as well. You can track them in home on your socks. People don't realize, you know, fleas will climb in your socks and hang out and then get in the house, and infestation is now happening.
Well, even some of those, like we were talking about, my cats and things, you know, you got to be a little careful of that too, especially if you don't have them up. Because like you said, you can track them in on your shoes, you track your next, you know, you're picking up that stuff. And if you know my cats, like my cats are always rubbing on my shoes and my feet. And that's like their sign of love, weirdly enough.
They like the smell of your feet.
I guess, but especially one cat. One of them, Hannah, I think she'll make out with my feet before she'll make out with me. You know what I mean? Like she'd rather rub and roll around my feet than let me hold her in her lap and pet her.
All of the dogs, because, you know, I work around, you know, the chemicals and stuff at work and like the bleach and stuff. And, you know, we step in and out of the bleach and all of that stuff. The animals, as soon as I get home, they're sniffing my feet. They're rubbing on my feet. And the second I take my socks off, my sister dog, her dog is like, yep, mine.
Yeah.
And so like,
That's
if
Hannah.
I take my socks off, I have to grab my socks really quick.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like she's got like a ESP, like, oh,
Yeah.
she's taking her sock off.
Yeah, that's Hannah. She'll start rubbing her face on them, and then she'll eventually get harder. And the next thing I'm like, man, she's like headbutting it hard. And then she rolls on the ground and then gets overstimulated and grabs them with her claws and seeks her teeth into my feet. And it's a love thing. It's just when cats get overstimulated, they don't know what to do with their hands sometimes. And this is kind of one of those moments you don't know what to do with her hands.
At least she's not overstimulated in other places.
Yeah. And so she's just happy, and she gets overstimulated, and she's purring 1,000,000 miles an hour, but she doesn't know what to do. She's like, ah, and just bites. You know, that's what happens. And so she gets that way every time with my feet. But sometimes I mitigate it. I'm like, all right, let me pitch and then keep from the biting.
You're like, leave my toes alone.
But that's cats, man. They do that.
They do. And dogs, they have their weird fetishes. Like yesterday, we took in some cats and dogs, and all of my dogs are like, what? Excuse you? And so they each one had to rub their entire body on me. And then they're like, all right, you smell a little bit better. And then the next one comes over, and I'm like,
you smell like my sister. I don't want that one. You got this. Yeah, my cats do that too. Because then Bella will come over and be like, "Oh, you smell like Hannah," and she'll rub on me.
Yeah.
And Hannah comes back over. Yeah, it's an endless thing.
It is,
but that's the fun part of being a pet owner. So if you love that, and this is what if this all sounds like, oh, how cool, come to the Humane Society. Come down and adopt. There's cats and dogs. They're always like. Especially like with some of the dogs. I know there's a few of those dogs, 1 or 2 at least, that have been there 6+ months.
We have one that has been there since September of 2023.
Yeah, that's 2 years now.
Yep.
That's 2 years.
And there's nothing wrong with her. She's just a long-haired shepherd mix.
And
She's
the longer
got
she's
some
there,
energy.
the harder it is to go. And some, I'm pretty sure she's probably pretty institutionalized at this point.
She actually does fairly well.
Okay.
We take her out, take her for walks. She goes to the park. She's social with people.
Okay. Does she find like comfort in the cage now?
Yeah.
That's the part you get worried about.
Yeah.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, it's great if it was a dog.
She likes to be out. She likes to be running around, but then she's like, yeah, I'm done. Let me go
But
back.
it's her space, and she's owned it now, and now
Yep.
it's a comfort. And I mean, it's not a bad thing, but ideally, you don't want a dog being
No.
comfortable to life in cages.
So-
That's not healthy for them.
One thing that we have found is that helps keep them from becoming like comfortable in a certain area is we move their kennel.
Okay.
So,
move it around a little bit, change
instead
the
of
pace.
you're in number 1, we're going to put you in number 7. You're going to see different surroundings.
Different smells, different feel.
And so, like, we rotate the kennels so that way she's in a different area all the time, and
Makes
it's not the same kennel, and it keeps her from becoming so secured in that area.
Sure. Institutionalized.
Yeah, we want her to be
Shawshank Redemption, you know what I'm talking about. They talk about 1,000 times.
We want them to be comfortable. We don't want them to
Absolutely.
be scared and stressed, but we don't want them to be so dependent on that kennel.
We don't want them to depending on the cage
Yep.
is their sanction. Kind of like, and this is why crate training is the perfect way for dogs. If you own a dog and you're not potty training them and using the crate as that method, you're doing it the hard way.
You are.
It is because dogs are instinctually, they don't poop where they eat, so to speak. That's kind of the thing. And so if you do it right and you give them the crate, that's their bed at night. They go there every night, but don't use it as a punishment. Use it and they will go there. Like with Sissy, when I had her, as a puppy, we had the crate, and eventually we moved to a bed when she was. But to learn house train, we could actually go to sleep at night, go all night. She will not go to the bathroom. Here's the rub: soon as you get up, before you go to the bathroom, you better go let that dog out and let them go out and do their thing, because they'll be ready and hopping. But that's how you train them, and they will never go. And then if you don't get mad at them and use that as a punishment, they'll actually go there, as they're saying, like if there's kids and everything's going crazy and it's like, oh, it's a lot of noise. They will actually use that as and they'll walk in there and they'll lay down and catch a nap.
So Honeybee, she's the instigator of everything in the house.
Yeah.
But when she's done instigating, she runs to her kennel, and then, like, her kennel door's open, and she can come in and out as she pleases. And so she'll run, she'll get in her kennel, she'll take her paw, and she'll pull it closed.
That's awesome.
And she's like,
I'm done with you today. I'm spent.
Yeah, and she just pulls it and closes it.
That's
and then
awesome.
she gets under her blanket and she goes to sleep.
Yeah.
She has her little gnome stuffy and she lays on it. And then when everything's nice and quiet, she gets up, she opens her kennel door, and then she goes and she instigates. And then when everybody's all riled up, she's like, oh, back into my kennel.
Yeah. And if you do that right, that's exactly how it goes. Like with my Sissy, but even when she was a puppy and we were still using the kennel thing, I never had to force her to go in there. I said, all right, good night, Sissy. It's time for good night. And then she'd walk right in there, close the door behind her. And it happened even long after. Like when it was part of the routine. As a matter of fact, she had a routine. Like the bed, we had bought this over the top Tempur-Pedic-like dog bed with her name and everything on it. It was a big old bed. And that was her bed for many years. And it was always on my wife's side of the weird slip. My wife's side of the bed. On my wife's side of the bed there. And so, but every night she would, we get into bed, and she'd come to my side. I love on her, go over to Kim, love on her, and then she'd go into her bed. And that was her routine every single night.
It's funny. Like, our dogs are, like, extremely routine. So, like, if John and I go out of town, like the routine is thrown off.
Mm-hmm.
And so my sister's like, the dogs will not sleep unless you come in and give them goodnight kisses. So when I'm not home to give them goodnight kisses, they're like,
And she'll wait for her loving. Like if I just roll into bed and sit there, she'll literally go up, put her head on the bed, and just sit there and wait. And you're like, oh, I'm sorry, sissy. And then you go love it on, and sometimes she'd rear up, depending on when she was younger days, and then she'd go around.
Yeah, we have our nightly routine, and it's a routine.
Yeah.
Thrift store really quickly.
Yes, let's talk thrift store. Absolutely.
They have a lot of purses.
Okay.
So all the purse ladies, they got a lot.
Time to game on, get your purse on. Now,
yes.
I'm going to take a stab. All the Easter stuff's gone, or is there some stuff that if you want to pick up a basket or two, there might be a few laying around?
Not sure if they've got all of it cleared out.
Okay.
I know this Friday before Easter, she had everything at like 75% off.
It's even dirt cheap compared to how cheap it was.
Right.
Put it this way. Next time there's a holiday like 4th of July, Easter, anything where you just do a little bit of, don't go buy new stuff. Go to the thrift store. Get your Easter baskets, your grass. Now, the candy and stuff, go to the store and buy. But like the grass, the plastic eggs, the wicker baskets, all that stuff, don't spend brand new money
They have
on that.
Easter decor.
Yeah.
They have all of it. And they people, like, they buy it, they use it, they decide next year they want to decorate differently, so they donate what they bought the previous year, and there's nothing wrong with it.
And it's great. And by the way, instead of paying $10 for it, you're paying $1 for it or something like that. Yeah, it's very...
Anybody needing any dryers? We have 2 of them.
Okay. Are they electric or?
Yes.
Okay.
There are 3 very nice and very large area rugs.
Okay.
And I mean big.
Okay, like room size, like a living room or.
Yeah.
Good deal.
They're rolled up and duct tape closed so that way they're not falling all over the place.
They're probably usually area rugs of that size are quite expensive.
Yes. Coming tomorrow sometime, there will be a antique oak king bedroom set.
Oh, wow.
It's just the bed frame, nightstands, dressers, armoire. There's no mattress and box springs. It's just the set.
All the furniture pretty much. Well, I can tell you right now, buying that brand new, you could spend 10 grand easy.
Yeah.
And that's without the mattress.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it is, we're going to be going to get it tomorrow.
And it sounds like it's solid oak and everything. This is probably high-end stuff that if you bought it brand new, you're paying thousands of dollars for. You can get it for hundreds of dollars at the thrift store.
Yeah. There is a queen-size bed and bed frame. There is an antique dresser that they have priced at $100, still in very good condition.
Nice.
The decor trees, like, the fake trees that you put in the corner to look like you're a good
rubber tree plants.
You're a good plant keeper. They got a couple of those.
That's the only kind I can have in my house because of the cats. Cats are plant eaters. Although I don't think I want the fake ones either. I think they'd eat those too.
They might. A lot of summer dresses. They got a lot of shorts, shoes. And this coming Saturday, all clothing will be half off.
Okay, cool.
So half off of what it already is. If it's $1, it's going to be 50 cents. If it's 50 cents, it's going to be 25.
So imagine, especially now that the weather's getting warmer, if you're need new shorts and T-shirts and summer gear,
they've got swimsuits out. They've already got all of the sandals and stuff like that. They've got all of that out. They still have like your normal boots and shoes and tennis shoes, but
I say this every time, and I'll continue to say it. If you're, say, a young professional, just got your job right out of college, and you got one of those jobs where you got to get in higher end dresses and work clothes, don't go buying it. Don't be going to the stores brand new, buying it, and paying hundreds of dollars that you don't have already. Go down to a store, you can get a couple nice suits or a couple pants slacks or a couple dresses that'll get you through that are someone else paid. You know what I'm saying? That's high-end stuff. It's not like these are like, low-end dresses. These are, very fashionable name. If you buy them, they're hundreds of dollars new stuff that you can
One
get.
of the purses that they had yesterday is a Vera Wang, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. So if you need some
I know personally how much those are.
Yeah. So if you need some, good clothing like that, but I get it. First job, you don't have a bunch of suits or dresses. And you can't afford because,
They had a lot of beautiful prom dresses out. I know. I think,
with prom season.
Yeah, isn't somebody's prom
wedding
this weekend?
and quinceañeras, now that the weather's getting warmer, you'll see a lot more of those. They got all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because I know Easter weekend was Roswell Highs. Isn't Goddard's prom this weekend?
I think you're right, yeah.
So if you still kind of need a prom dress or something, they've got a lot of formals, beautiful, beautiful dresses.
Absolutely.
We don't get a whole lot of the men's, like the guys'
a lot
tuxedo.
of them rent them.
Yeah,
a lot
do.
of them rent them. You go to like a place like Hippie Chicks and rent them or something like that.
Yeah. But we do get a lot of the dresses, a lot of the shoes. So if you're looking for that stuff, come in, check in. They're open 10 o'clock today. They'll be open 10 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah. And come and come just look, even if you're, because you never know what you're going to find. There's literally, I mean, that's why there is the 10 o'clock club on Wednesdays. That's the day that the new items show up on the shelves at the thrift store. Because they're closed Monday and Tuesday to do such thing. And so Wednesday at 10 o'clock, which would be about 10 minutes from yesterday. But they do it every Wednesday, and that's the new stuff day. And you can literally find anything. I mean, like collectibles. Like if you're a person that collects something, like whether it's Coca-Cola bottles or Hummels or things like that, all the time those kind of things just show up in there. And,
they do. They get a ton. And like, so recently, like I started seeing like a lot of like the antique honey jars, and so I have a few of them. And so one came in not so long ago, and Camille had set it aside, and she's like, "Come and look at this."
Yeah.
And it was so pretty. It was so ornate, and like just you could tell it was like a hand blown jar because it had like the honeycomb like carved into it.
So it's got probably lots of work into it.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I think I must have this.
Yeah, you find so much great stuff like that. It's really a treasure hunt.
Like the antique shavers, like from like a long time ago.
Oh, yeah?
They get those occasionally.
And they're worth money for people that collect those. And
they
things,
are.
You know, they kind of, because some of them are made out of precious materials. Just saying, but
yep.
Yeah, it's that's the beauty of the thrift store is you get to and trust me, things like if you're trying to get books for your kids,
the book room is done. Abby works on it multiple times throughout the week.
Or books for yourself too. But I know with like kids, you want to get them a bunch of Dr. Seuss books, and next thing you know, you're spending hundreds of dollars because you bought. No, go to the thrift store. You can fill a bag up for like $5-10 and be walking and get a whole library of books for the kids.
Yes, they always have a plethora of kids' books, and she has it all nice and organized. So, like, if there's a book specifically you want to look for, it's like a little library. You walk in, you got your fiction, your nonfiction,
yeah, it's
your
all
history.
alphabetized and by categories. Yeah.
Yes, and her biggest pet peeve is when people push the books back farther on the shelf. Because, books are supposed to be up aligned with the shelf ending.
Now you know why she doesn't have a job at a library. She'd probably drive her nuts doing that all day.
Yeah, she'd be like, but
it's just anybody that sounds like she's got a little OCD-ish in her.
Oh, a little.
And so people that are like that, either they love the library or hate it because you get so many chances to fix things, but so many things are not, you know what I mean? Because people, oh my gosh, the book's not right spot. That drives people nuts, the people that are.
It really does.
Yeah.
And like she does, she has it all nice and alphabetized by author. They're categorized, and she spent a lot of time getting that set up the way it is now.
We're all like that, just in our own thing. It may not be books, or maybe your thing is your guns or something, but you know what I mean? It's like, wait a minute, it's in a certain order, can't touch it.
I got a video to show you.
Oh, yeah? All right.
Speaking of. But, so she spent so much time working on that room and getting it straightened out, and then she sorts the books, and she puts the books out. She comes down multiple times a week to make sure that the little library stays stocked.
She's officially made it her baby.
She has, and
cool.
She takes such good care of it.
Well, it's such appreciated.
It's hard because I would get so annoyed.
It's
like
meticulous
me,
work.
I'd be like, here's all these authors. They're on this side. I don't care if it's fiction, nonfiction.
But then some people find that cathartic.
They
like
do.
Gardening and stuff.
And see, that's me. Like, I would rather be gardening and that kind of stuff. I don't want to be looking at books and putting them on shelf. That's not me.
I could, you know what? Certain scenarios that might be oddly satisfying for me. It had to be a right scenario, but I might take some satisfaction. Because I ain't gonna lie, there's like I'm one of those people. Like if I hate cleaning, but once I've cleaned it and look at it, I'm very
proud of it.
Yeah. So I think that would, so it does evoke a certain feeling. Like I'm glad I did this. I feel much better now. You know what I mean? And so I got a feeling that certain one of those activities might give me that feeling. Like, oh, that was satisfying.
I don't mind cleaning. I hate dusting.
Yeah.
But that's because we live in Dust Bowl Central.
Sure, yeah.
And so it's like the second you dust, you're already like another inches there. And I'm like, whoa.
You're just dusting the dust.
Pretty much. I'm like, man, I could just go get some corn seed from Roswell Seed and plant it and just grow corn inside my house. I got Great Danes that drool, so it would get watered.
Yeah. It's like those people that had brooms with dirt floors. I'm like, I don't get it, man. Why do you have a broom with a dirt floor?
Yeah. So they can, cover up the stuff that
push
they spill.
Push the dirt around a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, level it out.
But it is one of those things. But that being said, kind of bringing it back, The thrift store has got lots of great stuff
They do.
come in. And
They
even,
had a elliptical the other day. I'm not sure if
Oh,
she
really?
sold it or not, but
Okay.
they had an elliptical.
We'll call in and check if you're looking for one of those. They might have one still. So, but keep checking back off. And then, of course, if you want to donate, please
ahead.
do. But call ahead. Let Camille kind of triage it, especially if it's a bigger item. They may not have storage space for it. But the good news is they'll come get it. They'll do so. If you've got big furniture, they will make arrangements to come help. Like if you don't have the means to get a couch to them, they do have some volunteers that will help you get that. Usually it's probably you, but you know what I mean. But
Yeah,
but people
I'm
do
getting
come.
my John. I'm getting Roswell Seeds one of their trailers tomorrow to go pick up the bed set because
There you
it's
go.
too big to put in the back of the truck.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go get the trailer so we can go pick it up tomorrow morning.
Cool. Again, Roswell Seed always supporting, and even when they don't realize it.
I laugh because I tell them I'm like, hey, I need the trailer. They're like, yep, go
But
get it.
They've been, even when Jim was around for years, there were so many times that I know that he would just buy you pallets of food and stuff.
Yes, or pallets of cat litter.
Not say nothing, just here it is. You need food, here's food.
Yep.
That's
yeah,
Roswell
I
Seed.
got yelled at one time because we had put something in the newspaper that we were getting low on food, and he never raised his voice at me, but this one time, and he said, if I have to read again in the newspaper that the Humane Society is low on something and you haven't told me, he said, that's going to be the last day you walk comfortably. And I said, yes, sir.
There you go. No problem. And,
I knew exactly what he meant by not walk comfortably. He was going to whoop my flesh, and he was going to beat me up.
He's not going to stand for the pets not having it.
No, and he's like, you should have come and told me. And I was like,
I don't want to. Yeah.
I'm
most
like,
of us are
every
like,
time I turn around, I'm asking you for something, and he goes,
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but if
that's-
anybody
that
does
was
want to
the thing.
donate something, I will tell you right now, we are low on cat litter.
Cat litter is a big one.
So the New Mexico Youth Challenge, in order for them to get like extra day of furlough and stuff like that, or extra visit time at home,
Sure. They do service projects.
part of
and work.
their requirements is their family members must bring a bag of dog food or a bag of cat food.
Okay.
So we literally unloaded a trailer in the back of a truck full of food right
Awesome.
before Easter. So we're
We're good on
completely
food.
set on puppy food. We're set on adult dog food. We're set on cat food. But we need cat litter.
Cat litter bag.
Just cheap cat litter.
Excellent. And yeah, don't buy the expensive stuff.
No.
The clumping and all that.
Yeah.
Literally, buy that. It looks like a concrete bag almost.
It
A
does.
30-pound bag of litter.
Yes.
Yeah, buy that. Buy that and grab a. And they're usually pretty cheap. So if you can
Yeah,
buy.
like normally it's like $5 or $6
Yeah, so if
for a
you can-
50-pound bag.
If you can grab 2 bags and bring them down, that would be an amazing help here. Because and here's how it works: is the cats they use like the old soda.
The cardboard boxes for
Boxes,
like the
yeah.
soda flats or like quality liquor, they save them for us. Farmers Country Market saves them for us. So
Yeah.
instead of them throwing the cardboard away, we use it as a litter box. We put cat litter in there,
Yeah.
and then if like they say the animal's having diarrhea or a urinary issue, we're able to just pull that box, put a fresh one in,
Yeah.
throw it away, so nothing is being
Well, and
spread.
remember we were talking about all those communicable, spreadable things. A lot of
Yes.
times it's through litter boxes, and rather than taking the time to scour and clean every time these litter boxes are changed, they just replace them with
Yeah,
the fresh
the
litter
only
and
time we
everything
really use a plastic litter box is if the animal is having like
else. Medical issue and they need to monitor something. Or
yeah,
keep
like I
tabs
have to
on it.
save it and take it
Then
to
we
the
get
vet.
the fancy litter and do the color code and all. that.
Yes.
But for everybody else, just the cheapo stuff you find at Walmart or Petco or wherever. Right
Even the Dollar Tree, we have a lady that goes and buys us like 5 or 6 bags from the Dollar Tree.
Good deal.
And that is perfectly fine.
Absolutely.
It's
all you
used
need.
once and tossed away.
It does what it does. It allows the pets to bury their waste and keeps the smell down long enough for us to throw it away at the end of the day.
Yes, that is it.
That's all it's
It
gotta
gets
do.
changed in the
That's all it's
morning and in
gotta
the
do.
evening. So
Yeah.
that is our biggest need right now is just some cat litter.
Absolutely. So please help out if you can.
Yes.
Good deal. Did we get it all?
I think we did.
Again, if you have any questions, give out the phone numbers of the shelter and the
For the
thrift store.
kennels, it's 622-8950.
Okay.
And for the thrift store, it's 623-9210.
Very good. Call and if you have any questions, and then RoswellHumane.org if you want to become a member or anything
Yes.
like that. That's a great time to do
We're
that.
about to send out the April newsletter here soon, so there'll be another chance if you didn't renew in January, you can renew in April. If you want to become a member, you can come to the kennels and get a form. Y'all got forms out here.
We got mine here, yeah.
So there's forms online on the website. You can go on there and click and become a member.
Yeah, and that's a great way to help because all
It is.
your membership fees go back to the animals in that shelter. That's what they goes for. So it's a cool thing. So, Well, thank you, ma'am. As
Thank you,
always.
thank you.
for my birthday gift.
You're welcome.
Those will
I
all
was
be
laughing
consumed.
because I always have to get like the Reese's Easter eggs because they taste the best.
Yeah, they do. They do taste different.
In any of the other holidays, they taste fine, but the eggs taste the best.
It's different. Yep.
And
I
so we were
completely
grocery shopping, and I told my sister, I was like, I have to get Mike Easter eggs. And she goes, what? And I was like, I have to get him the Reese's Easter eggs. His birthday is this month. I go, and we share that favorite thing.
That's right. They taste, and call us weird.
I don't care.
I will go on my deathbed swearing those taste different.
They taste the best. They should make those all year long and just make the cups for holidays.
Exactly. That's how I see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Call it can I offer you an egg in this trying time? That's what I'm saying.
It's not a chicken egg, but it is an egg.
That's right. So, but Crystal's always appreciate it. We'll see you here next time.
Thank you.
All right. It is 9:59. Quick break for the Kick Me Off the Radio.
Join 92.9 The Brand for coverage live from the War Room during the first round of the Dallas Cowboys NFL Draft. Listen as former NFL scout Brian Broaddus, Kyle Yeomans, and Zach Welchuk cover all the latest up-to-date news and coverage. The Dallas Cowboys draft coverage begins at 5 p.m. Thursday, April 24th on 92.9 The Brand.
The Dallas Cowboys select.
Dallas Cowboys draft coverage is brought to you by Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd, a proud supporter of the Dallas Cowboys and all local sports.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
I think Russia is ready, and a lot of people said Russia wanted to go for the whole thing. And I think we have a deal with Russia. We have to get a deal with Zelensky, and I hope that Zelensky, I thought it might be easier to deal with Zelensky. So far, it's been harder.